Thank you, Professor Atik. Thank you very much for giving a detailed information about me. Good afternoon, friends. Again, thanks to the director for providing me the opportunity to interact with you the in next 90 minutes. Before I should proceed further, should I add little bit of Hindi also, or should I confine to only English? Uh, any participant can speak, or shall I confine to only English?
So we can go for English or Hindi both.
Okay.
Yeah.
So little bit of things also, because because this is a pan India program, probably people, that's it. That's the only reason, friends. Thank you. Um See, that the topic which I selected for this 90 minutes orientation and sensitization is on AI tools which are revolutionizing the research. You all know very well that our national educational policy has given a very clear cut emphasis on technology integration in higher education and in our national educational policy document. And there they talked about very specifically about non AI powered technologies and technologies for teaching, learning, assessment, and pedagogy. That is one vertical. Governance and management, other vertical. And third important vertical is research. Already we have been using so many, qualitative assessment, qualitative tools, quantitative tools, referencing tools. Now, what happened since the AI has been, penetrating so much into the system. So almost all these platforms have been moved slowly and steadily towards uh, the into their own features. So what is important for us is to understand what type of tools are available, and what are their key features of their tools. And third important thing is what type of skills and competencies. See, I think Professor Atik has rightly said it is only for those people who will having the skills and competencies are more important. Even the Honorable Prime Minister also often says skilling, upskilling, and reskilling is very important. Even though in this the UGC flagship program of NEP orientation, so always I used to take at least 10 to 20% of the time on the hands-on activity. So what I do in this session, so I spent some time on the explanation part. Then afterwards, I will show, because we have created certain nice demonstrations also, so that the faculty members who are sitting in different parts of this country with a different varied bandwidth can able to write down the steps. उसके बाद आराम से आप इस वर्कशॉप के बाद, इस सेशन के बाद, and take down the notes and keep working on that. Let me tell you one thing. This is the need of the hour, and without this understanding, it will be very difficult to go ahead in this stream. That's what I mean to say that very very clearly over such here. As already mentioned to you that lot of things, as I already planned a few things. So I have certain things planned in for the purpose which I want going to show you on the screens. So the uh, First of all, I'd like to know that, because none of the participants have switched on their cameras. I understand your concern, being a Saturday and that too afternoon. My only request is, my voice is reaching to you people or not? I think somebody has to confirm with the emoji, so that otherwise what happened, the other then so that I can move it further without any difficulty as such. Please confirm with an emoji that my voice is reaching you, and the PowerPoint is visible on the screens. Emoji. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Paragji and Harshad Deshmukh. Good, good, good. Okay, good, good. At least I keep asking you so that wherever these things are required, so that I want you should do our good. So, this artificial intelligence tools are, as you know very well, transforming the research across various disciplines, offering innovative solutions for data collection, analysis, and interpretation. I hope you know very well that for a researcher, these three things are very important. These tools automate processes, enhance data analysis capabilities, and very importantly, provide new ways to visualize and interpret the findings. Okay, that's very, very important. There are other things are also there. I'll keep when I explain the when I do complete further, and I'm going to talk about those factors also. From web scraping to natural language processing, machine learning to predictive analytics, AI is shaping how researchers approach their work, enabling faster and more efficient research processes while unlocking new possibilities for discovery and innovations. I don't want to touch the machine learning to predictive analytics kind of a general tool which will be useful for all our researchers, because probably some research scholars are also must be attending this workshop. I'll just make it some of these tools general so that we all of us can take this process much easily and effectively. And I have one small request to make. Please keep notes next to you. Of course, I'm presenting. I'll be sharing this presentation with the honorable director, Professor Atik. But my point, which I just want to mention, is if you could, because there are a lot many things which were not there in the PowerPoint presentation, which I will be explaining to you. So I request you to keep a notes next to you and keep writing out these things, which will be very helpful for you. So, you know very well that this is the general statement. The AI is revolutionizing the education. We are all understanding that. And from the classrooms to the research labs, it has its own presence now. So because and we are using this one for the teaching purpose, PowerPoint generation, lesson customization, and intelligent learning resources. Because here actually I was given only the 90-minute sessions and I have confined to research point only. Otherwise, generally I used to talk about all these things to start with. For the learning purpose, also personalized learning paths, immediate feedback, and real-time support for the diverse learners. I think very, very important. Because what happens, our learners are very diversified here. And you all know very well that we have slow learners, we have average learners, we have gifted learners. And of course, similarly, we have introverts, we have extroverts. Language is a problem. And every learner wants to learn on their own pace, space, time, and style. Probably you must have realized this. And one more interesting thing, I think before Corona period also this was there. I think after the Corona period, it is more vibrant. There are six essential things every learner is expecting. Okay. Number one, they are looking for a flexible learning environment. The AI supported tools are facilitating that. Flexible learning environment and adaptable learning environment, personalized learning environment, engaging learning environment, interactive learning environment, and very interestingly, interesting learning environment. Okay, so unless and until we could able to do these things, then only students will come to the class. Please try to understand. They have huge electronic resources are available. Wonderful MOOCs courses are available. Good quality digital content is available. So then, because looking at all these factors, how to attract the students into class, unless and until the teacher provides the value addition. So to counter all these things, I'm not saying that teacher will replace the technology, but 100%, whether you like it or not. And no teachers is comparable with that, because teacher cannot be replaced, because teacher is indispensable to the teaching learning process, at least next to at least 20 25 years time. So the learning is very important. Then comes the evaluation part, automated grading. The AI tools are being used, insightful analytics, and also identifying the areas for improvement, because the students are definitely required to be, because not necessarily everybody excels everywhere. So but these things are, and of course the last point which I will be focusing today, research and analysis, uncovering hidden patterns in educational data and predicting trends. So this is the way from the classroom to the research is being. So what are the now since this aspect is this, I'll be focusing on the research. What are the issues faced by the researchers? Okay, and the first and foremost thing, navigating the vast ocean of research can feel overwhelming. Number one, because there are so many options are available, so much requirements are there, so much parameters. Then a lot of cross tabulation need to be done, and analysis part. सेकंड सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग वाली बात है, अनपैकिंग डेंस एकेडमिक पेपर्स। आजकल तो पहले जब मैंने इस पेज रिक्वेस्टिंग द पार्टिसिपेंट्स दो स्विच ऑन, जिन्होंने कैमरा ऑन किया था, एक जगह पर तसल्ली में बैठ जाइएगा प्लीज, बार बार मुंह मत कीजिएगा। आपको आपको कोई दिक्कत है, कैमरा बंद कर लीजिए, एक जगह पर बैठ जाइए। एक फॉर्मल क्लास चल रहे हैं, दिस इज ए फॉर्मल क्लास, जैसे मैंने बैठा था आप भी उस तरीके से बैठ जाइए। डोंट मूव हियर एंड देयर। मुझे तो नहीं लगता है कि आप लोग सुन पा रहे हैं जो मैं कह रहा हूं। ओके, आप लोग जो मैं जो कह रहा हूं आप लोग शायद सुन पा रहे हैं, नहीं सुन पा रहे, एक जगह पर बैठ जाइए। ओके, क्योंकि वी आर द टीचर्स एंड वी आर द रोल मॉडल्स ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स आल्सो। ओके, ऐसा नहीं कि जब हम कोई स्टूडेंट ऐसे कैमरा लेके गए अच्छा नहीं लगता। चलिए, अनपैकिंग डेंस एकेडमिक पेपर्स, so many papers are now available, एंड वी वांट टू सी दैट कौन सा पेपर कहाँ यूज होगा। लिटरेचर सर्वे के ऊपर बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हमें जो लग रहा था रिक्वायरमेंट है, एंड एक्सट्रैक्टिंग की फाइंडिंग्स, क्योंकि नॉर्मली 10 साल पहले 20 साल पहले ज्यादातर इतने ज्यादा नहीं होते थे। नाउ की फाइंडिंग्स आर वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, सो उसको करने के लिए तो हमें कोई एक्स्ट्रा टूल्स की जरूरत है। And ensuring the flawless presentation often required precision, time, and expertise. Okay, so आपने तो कर तो दिया था, करने के बाद you want to see that how this will be going to be presented, and so requires precision, time, and expertise. ऐसा नहीं होता है generally. Okay, so this is second issue. So naturally, so we are looking for AI-powered tools, specially designed to streamline the workflow and empower the scholarly endeavors to mitigate the problems which has been written over there on the screen. ओके, सो आप लोग क्या समझ रहे हैं कि क्यों कितने कितने टूल्स मैं पढ़ाऊंगा, क्योंकि ज्यादातर केसेस में लोग मुझे बार बार यही पूछते कि सर ये जो कितने टूल्स आप हमें बता दोगे। अब मैं ट्राई तो करूंगा, मैं तो ट्राई करूंगा, बिकॉज देर आर सो मेनी टूल्स आर देर। इनमें से मैंने कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग इंपॉर्टेंट वाली टूल्स को निकाल के रखा था। उसमें एक कनेक्टेड पेपर्स पे एक टूल है, रिसर्च रैबिट एक टूल है, कॉन्सेंसस एक टूल है, चैट पीडीएफ है, टाइप सेट है, एंड त्रिंका है। काफी इंटरेस्टिंग है ये तो, काफी यूजफुल वाली टूल्स है। सो अभी यहाँ एक सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग वाली बात, आप ये मत समझ लीजिएगा हर ये एक एक टूल पकड़ने से तो सारे काम आपका हो जाएगा, जनरली नहीं है। ओके, these are all the tools which are there sometime, and of course constant improvement, constant tools are coming up. You want to see that which tool will be making the life comfortable as a researcher, ये चीज देखना है। सो ये नीचे देखिए सेकंड वाले पैराग्राफ में मैंने जो लिखा था, each tool tackles unique challenges from समराइजिंग कॉम्प्लेक्स पेपर्स, सबसे वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग है वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट है, क्योंकि हमारे लिए तो, क्योंकि लिटरेचर सर्वे में या कोई पेपर को फाइनलाइज करने में, और ये इम्पोर्टेंट, आंसरिंग क्वेश्चंस बरीड विद इन द पीडीएफ्स, क्योंकि एक एक पीडीएफ हमारे कंप्यूटर साइंस में तो कम से कम 40-40 पेजेस का पीडीएफ है। सोशल साइंस में से और ज्यादा मैंने देखा था। बट प्रॉब्लम क्या होता है कि जब तक उसके अंदर क्या क्या प्रश्न है और प्रश्नों का उत्तर कौन दे रहे हैं, दैट इज दिस टूल्स विल बी फैसिलिटेटिंग एंड कन्वर्टिंग फॉर्मेट्स विद दीज, क्योंकि बहुत सारे फॉर्मेट्स जो है कोई दूसरे लेवल की चीज फॉर्मेट्स है। सो दिस फॉर्मेट्स आर कन्वर्टिंग द फॉर्मेट्स विद ईज एंड रिफाइनिंग राइटिंग फॉर पब्लिकेशन। ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है आजकल तो, मतलब जो नेशनल पब्लिकेशन है, इंटरनेशनल पब्लिकेशन है, नेशनल जर्नल्स है, इंटरनेशनल जर्नल्स है, कॉन्फ्रेंसेस है, सेमिनार्स है। सो एंड रिफाइंड वे ऑफ प्रेजेंटिंग पब्लिकेशन इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। सो ये टूल्स आपके लिए यही काम करेगा। इसके अलावा भी कई सारे ऑप्शंस है, बट मैं एग्जांपल के तौर पे ये चीज यहाँ लिख रखा था। So let me, I hope you have been writing these things on the notebook. आप कलम कॉपी साथ में लेके रखें, ये सारे बातों को लिखते रहिएगा। सो समराइजिंग कॉम्प्लेक्स पेपर्स एक सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग वाली बात है। आंसरिंग क्वेश्चंस बरीड विद इन द पीडीएफ सेकंड वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट वाली बात है। कन्वर्टिंग फॉर्मेट्स विद ईज, दिस इज द थर्ड इंटरेस्टिंग, एंड रिफाइनिंग राइटिंग फॉर पब्लिकेशंस, ये फोर्थ इंपॉर्टेंट एंड इंटरेस्टिंग चैलेंजेस को ये डील कर रहे हैं। इसके अलावा भी इन टूलों में और कई सारे और भी टूल्स है, उसके अंदर भी और भी ऑप्शंस आर अवेलेबल, बट जनरली आई विल बी फोकसिंग ट्राई टू डू दिस वन. So what we will do that we explore how these AI assistants can transform the research journey, unlocking efficiency, clarity with deeper understanding. Okay, so my point, what I'm trying to say, that every tool I'll try to demonstrate to the extent possible. What are the main features only, not all the features. But before that, there are other things also I'll explain. So that you'll find out these things will be helpful for you. So, as I already mentioned to you, first of all, data-driven insights. What is very, very important for me is, analyze the vast amounts of education data to cover learning patterns and predict educational trends. That's what I said already. AI-powered literature review, because this is very, very important. And this literature review tools are very interesting, very useful also. And of course, this is not only meant for faculty members. I think I have been propagating such tools across India, starting from down south to northeastern region, so that every faculty must know and see what happens. मैं आप लोगों को एक रास्ता दिखा रहा हूं, मैं इस तरीके से कर रहा हूं करके, आप जितना एक्सप्लोर करेंगे और ज्यादा चीज आपको इसमें मिल जाएगा, सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट वाली बात है। तो फर्स्ट पॉइंट इसके अंदर जो है लिटरेचर रिव्यू वाली बात है। एंड डेटा माइनिंग टूल्स, क्योंकि इतना डेटा है इसको माइन करने के लिए चाहिए। ऑटोमेटेड टूल्स असिस्ट इन जनरेटिंग हाइपोथेसिस। There are very interesting tools are available to generate the hypothesis, testing models, दुनिया भर की चीज अवेलेबल है। तो ब्रॉडली इसको चार भागों में बांटा गया था। डेटा ड्रिवन इंसाइट्स, AI tools analyze vast education data sets to cover patterns and predict the trends. Automated tools like literature review, data mining, and hypothesis generation. Of course, global collaboration platforms are facilitating the worldwide research partnerships and data sharing. That is again many of us are doing. And very importantly, we should also see the ethical consideration. AI use in research raises important questions. मैं लास्ट में about the privacy, consent and bias, और मैं लास्ट में इन चीजों को थोड़ा सा फोकस करने की कोशिश करता हूँ, क्योंकि ये सारे ये चीज भी काफी इंपॉर्टेंट है, अब सबको पता होना चाहिए। ओके, जस्ट थोड़ा सा आगे हो गया। ओके, द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट विच आई जस्ट वांट टू ब्रिंग, एथिकल, ये बात हो गई। सो अब एक एक करके ब्रॉडली मैं इसका क्लासिफिकेशन मैंने चार पांच एरियाज में मैंने इसको क्लासिफाई कर रखा था। आप उसमें से देख लीजिएगा विच आर वे बी दी हेल्पफुल फॉर यू। लिटरेसी रिव्यू एंड रेफरेंस मैनेजमेंट टूल्स। सो ये सब के लिए, मतलब जो हमारे अब जितने सारे लोग इस देश में जो रिसर्च कर रहे हैं, स्टूडेंट्स भी है, रिसर्चर्स भी है, सो ये हमारे लिए काफी यूजफुल वाली बात है। लाइक इसको तीन भागों में मैंने इसमें बांटा था। एआई पावर्ड लिटरेचर रिव्यू टूल्स है, एआई पावर्ड रेफरेंस मैनेजर्स है, एकेडमिक एआई पावर्ड एकेडमिक रिसर्च एकेडमिक सर्च इंजन है। सो लिटरेचर रिव्यू के लिए iris.ai के एक इंटरेस्टिंग वास्ट डेटाबेसेस ऑफ एकेडमिक पेपर्स, और भी दो तीन टूल्स है। कनेक्टेड पेपर्स भी ये काम कर रहे हैं, कॉन्शेंसस भी ये काम कर रहे हैं, एंड समराइजिंग की फाइंडिंग्स एंड आइडेंटिफाइंग द ट्रेंड्स। बट सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट एआई के साथ ये है कि आपके जो प्रॉम्प्ट कैसे है, what type of prompt you are going to give, and how that prompt is going to be helpful in searching the data from the database. That is more important. Second, of course, we all know about the reference managers like Mendeley, Jotero. These are all, these of course ये popular है। इसके अलावा there are so many are available, and they are all AI enhanced tools, uh, recommend relevant research papers and generate citations in multiple formats. सो मैंडले लिख लीजिएगा, जोटेरो लिख दीजिएगा। ये मैंडले, जोटेरो आर वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग रेफरेंस मैनेजर्स, एआई बेस्ड रेफरेंस मैनेजर्स। दे विल बी वेरी हेल्पफुल फॉर students and for scholars and even researchers also can able to use it। क्योंकि अभी तो इतना समय नहीं है एक एक करने की, इसलिए पहले जनरली बता दूंगा, उसके बाद कुछ स्पेसिफिक टूल्स एआई के लिए जो रिसर्च के लिए यूज होगा आगे आगे मैं बता दूंगा, डिमॉन्स्ट्रेट भी मैं कर दूंगा। देन एकेडमिक सर्च इंजिन्स। एक तो हम जनरली सर्च इंजन को अलग अलग तरीके से यूज करेंगे। तो हमारे पास जो नॉर्मल सर्च इंजन्स है, ऐसे ही क्रिएटिव कॉमन्स के सर्च इंजन है, दूसरा वेराइटी है। अब ये एआई बेस्ड, एआई पावर्ड एकेडमिक सर्च इंजन है, काफी इंटरेस्टिंग है। ये गूगल स्कॉलर है, वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग। आप सबको पता है कि हाउ हाउ इंटरेस्टिंगली, हाउ यूजफुली बहुत सारे लोग हम लोग कर रहे हैं। ये यहाँ एक छोटी सी बात मैं बताना भूल गया था। आई थिंक इट्स ओनली सुपरवाइजर को पता होना या रिसर्चर को पता होना, बड़ी बात तो नहीं है। आई थिंक दिस थिंग शुड बी नोन टू एवरीवन। अच्छा, दूसरी बात है, ओनली नोन होने से कुछ नहीं होगा। जैसे एक सेइंग है, जब मैं लेक्चर देता हूँ बहुत अच्छा लगता है, बट कोई यूजफुल, क्योंकि जब तक आप लोग नहीं करेंगे और डिमॉन्स्ट्रेट करेंगे, हाँ थोड़ा बहुत तो आपको समझ में तो आता है, आप एंजॉय करोगे। जब आप प्रैक्टिस करोगे ये चीज, मतलब जो जो चीज मैंने आपको यहाँ जो एक्सप्लेन करके डिमॉन्स्ट्रेट तो कर रहा हूँ, इसके बाद आप हफ्ते में एक टूल या दो टूल आप लेके इसको करते रहोगे, नेचुरली दैट विल बी हैविंग ए मोर लास्टिंग इम्पैक्ट ऑन यू। Okay, so Google Scholar, and very importantly, and of course, just mentioned few only, not necessarily. Dimensions .ai use AI to recommend related works, helping researchers discover relevant literature. ये इंटरेस्टिंग वाली बात है। और ज्यादातर क्योंकि मैं कंप्यूटर साइंस करके स्पेसिफिक डिसिप्लिन को नहीं बता रहा हूं, so that everybody can able to use these tools which will be having a lasting impact on that। ये फर्स्ट पॉइंट है, लिटरेचर रिव्यू एंड रेफरेंस मैनेजमेंट टूल्स। नेक्स्ट से नंबर टू जो है, डेटा कलेक्शन एनालिसिस टूल्स। डेटा कलेक्शन एंड एनालिसिस टूल्स, और डेटा कलेक्शन एंड एनालिसिस के लिए और भी इंटरेस्टिंग टूल्स आर अवेलेबल। सो मैं एक मिनट के लिए वो फिलहाल तो कुछ चीजें तो यहाँ दिखा दूंगा, जैसे वेब स्क्रैपिंग, एआई पावर्ड वेब स्क्रैपर्स आर अवेलेबल। आप एक बार चैट जीपीटी में भी जाके एक बार ढूंढ लीजिएगा। ये क्या करेंगे, जैसे ब्यूटीफुल सोप एक है, ऑक्टोपार्सी एक है, तो ये लोग ये एप्लीकेशंस क्या करते, दे गैदर डेटा फ्रॉम वेबसाइट्स ऑटोमेटिकली एंड कलेक्टिंग लार्ज डेटा सेट्स फॉर रिसर्च। मतलब आप देखिए, आपको आप जो कीवर्ड्स दिया जाता है, वो कीवर्ड्स देने के बाद इस ब्यूटीफुल सोप है एंड ऑक्टोपास इज एप्लीकेशन को इंस्टॉल करना पड़ता है, बट ब्यूटीफुल सोप इज a generally web based application which can be used without much difficulty as such. Okay, next, survey tools. Now forms.ai, of course platforms like Qualtrics एक तो एक टूल है, ऐसा ही forms.ai बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग। आपको तो पहले तो अभी तो हम लोग क्या करते थे, गूगल फॉर्म जनरेट करके ये जो बेचते रहते, फॉर्म्स डॉट ए आई करके टूल है। इन सारे चीजों को पहले आपको रजिस्टर करना पड़ेगा, देन यू कैन यूज इट। यूज ए आई, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, टू इम्प्रूव सर्वे डिजाइन, ऑप्टिमाइज क्वेश्चन ऑर्डर एंड एनालाइज responses फॉर ट्रेंड्स ऑन और biases। क्योंकि देखिए, आपका हमारा काम इतना आसान हो जाता है if somebody can able to provide me, but again I am telling you, the prompting is very important. What is our requirement is very important. Many times what happened, we assume that AI does miracles. Of course AI definitely does miracles, no doubt about it, but what is important to me, that we should know how to take the outcome from uh, the AI based platform. Okay, like there are two things I have mentioned. Qualtrics is one platform, and of course the Survey Monkey, Conquer, ये सारे यही काम कर रहे हैं, डेटा कलेक्शन, डेटा एनालिसिस की बात है, and similarly forms.ai. So these tools are very important to improve what are the things they do? They do the survey design, improve the survey design, optimize question order, and analyze, and even many of these tools आपको बता भी देता है कि भाई, if you can write down, it will tell that whether the questions which has been preparing is up to the mark or not. And they also give a lot of suggestions, because this AI has been generated through the huge data set. So naturally, and you can take a call whether the suggestions given by the system is okay or not. You can take a call accordingly. Next, natural language processing tools such as SPACY and NLTK processes and analyze large amounts of text data, crucial for, for fields like social science and media studies. ये भी ट्राई कर सकते हैं, और so much data mining these tools will do. And very what is interesting is there are so many philanthropists are available. They have been preparing nice videos and uploading into the YouTube, so that we could able to use those things. SPACY, NLTK, they process social science वालों के लिए काफी useful वाली बात है। Of course, machine learning and statistical analysis के लिए machine learning platforms are available. TensorFlow and PyTorch very important है, और data mining के लिए Rapid Miner एक बहुत interesting tool है. Rapid Miner enables researchers to mine large databases, discovering hidden patterns and threats. Rapid Miner एक very interesting है, और of course हमारे जो standard टूल्स है, स्टैटिस्टिकल सॉफ्टवेयर, एसपीएसएस पे भी एआई का टूल आ गया, और आर में भी आर इंटीग्रेटेड मशीन लर्निंग एल्गोरिथम्स ऑलमोस्ट एडवांस लेवल का आ गया फॉर एडवांस स्टैटिस्टिकल मॉडलिंग एंड हाइपोथेसिस टेस्टिंग। ये चीज तो आ ही गया था। सो दैट मतलब ये सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट वाली बात है, ये के बारे में दो दो चीजों के दो चीज आप ध्यान रखिएगा। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, अवेयरनेस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। Okay. Second, and how to convert that awareness. Sorry. Second point is your objective should be clear, expected outcome should be clear. हमारा मकसद क्या है, ये क्लियर है, हम क्या हासिल करना चाहते हैं इस वाले टूल से, ये आपके पास क्लियर होना चाहिए। नंबर 3, ये जो टूल आपने जो एक्सपोज मैं आपको आपके सामने जो बता तो रहा हूं, इन टूलों को आपके ऑब्जेक्टिव्स के मुताबिक कैसे यूज करना, ये आना चाहिए। So three things: awareness, and objectives and expected outcomes. And the last one is how to convert that awareness into practice. And similarly, automated statistical tools, JSP, data robot, these are all the tools making the complex statistical analysis, making them accessible for to non-experts also. And there is something like predictive analytics and visualization. There are nice tools are available for forecasting, tools are available, time series analysis के लिए tools available है, विजुअलाइजेशन के लिए टूल्स अवेलेबल है, इंफोग्राफिक जनरेशन के लिए टूल्स अवेलेबल है, जैसे हमारे कैनवा. And of course we have been using Canva to generate the nice presentations, but it's basically because since it has gone AI based integration is there, so it can help the researchers to create visually appealing infographics from their data. सो अब जितने सारे ग्राफिक्स अवेलेबल है वो सारे चीज जो है उसको अच्छा खासा हम यूज कर सकते हैं. ये जो है प्रेडिक्टिव एनालिटिक्स एंड विजुअलाइजेशन वाली टूल्स है. देन क्वालिटेटिव डेटा एनालिसिस एंड कोलैबोरेशन लाइक एनवीवो. अभी तो इसे पीछे जो है एसपीएसएस मैंने दिखा था क्वांटिटेटिव डेटा के लिए. एक सेकंड. एंड ये क्वालिटेटिव डेटा के लिए एनवीवो. NVO is a wonderful tool which helps the researchers analyze uh, qualitative data, detecting themes, patterns, and sentiments in interviews and open-ended responses. और इसके अंदर भी AI का टूल आ गया, AI का इंटीग्रेशन आ गया था. एंड you can try to use these tools, which is very very helpful for us. सेकेंड वन इज सेंटिमेंट एनालिसिस. अभी देखिए पब्लिक ओपिनियन लेने के लिए इमोशंस इन सोशल मीडिया डेटा एंड रिव्यूज. नाउ यूएस इलेक्शंस आर कमिंग इन नवंबर 5th. So many things have been happening like national language processing tools like IBM Watson. So ये काफी काफी इंटरेस्टिंग है, मतलब ये पैटर्न को एनालाइज कर रहे हैं. इसके अंदर कई सारे चीजों को जो है, एंड इवन अवर फोरकास्टर्स. हाँ अच्छा. देन they also going to use it, but again I am telling, the input is very very important. And many times what happened, the prompting is very important, input data is very important, how critically you have analysis, that is more important. And third one, collaborative platforms like Overleaf hai, Google Colab hai, and they're all these are the platforms which is enabling the multiple researchers to work on projects simultaneously. क्योंकि ये काफी इंटरेस्टिंग वाली कॉन्सेप्ट है. अभी अभी इंडिया में तो कुछ labs are doing it, some institutions like we are also using the same platform. Again, the point is that multiple researchers can work, and they can work on this project simultaneously, sharing the data and collaboration on publication in real time. That's very 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 important. Okay. And of course knowledge graphs. I think many of us are using this one again. Kumpu Help Research, Kumpu Help. This is Kumu. Earlier the name was different, Kumu. And this is again a very nice tool which helps the researchers visualize and explore the connections between ideas, peoples, organizations, or the data sets. Okay, you try to understand that now. So for the quantitative data analysis, the SPSS and R has AI integration. Okay. So normally we all know very well that how to use the SPSS, how to use the R. But when we use the AI integration tools, it has got a more impactness out. Similarly, the qualitative data analysis and collaboration also. Of course, the experimentation and simulation AI can be used like tools like AnyLogic. AnyLogic are used to agent-based modeling है. साइंटिफिक के लिए ज्यादातर यूज हो रहा है, साइंटिफिक कंप्यूटिंग. एंड लाइक मैटलैब provides the tools for advanced mathematical modeling or ethical research also. Tools like fairness indicators and so on and so forth are helping the researchers to detect biases in data sets. This is again very big problem also, because we don't know that what was the bias which has been given created on that one, and मॉडल्स को किस बेसिस में बनाया था. So ये तो हमेशा हर एक के साथ चलता है, and ensuring the ethical research practices also. Then there are other few interesting tools like AI assisted writing and grant development tools. Assisted writing is very interesting. Like for example, we have something called automated writing tools. So इसमें very important is Grammarly. Grammarly, we have, I think आप सबको पता है कि we are all using, we integrated Grammarly with our Gmail account, and many of us are using the freeware up to, and वो कुछ ग्रामर को करेक्ट कर रहे हैं. वेरी वेरी यूजफुल, स्पेशली इट इम्प्रूव्स द ग्रामर स्टाइल एंड द क्लैरिटी. और ऐसे ग्रामरली के साथ साथ देर इज वन मोर सॉफ्ट एप्लीकेशन एआई बेस्ड कॉल्ड क्विल बॉट. ये भी ट्राई कर लीजिएगा, वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग है. ओनली हम ग्रामरली पॉपुलर है, ये तो ज्यादा, ये भी पॉपुलर है, पॉपुलर की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ. क्विल बॉट ये भी इंटरेस्टिंग है. पेपर ड्राफ्टिंग के लिए एक तो महान एप्लीकेशन चैट जीपीटी तो है हमारे. इसके अलावा स्काइटी इज आल्सो, एंड ये दोनों मतलब इसके अलावा भी कई चीजें हैं. सो इसका काम ये है, वो असिस्ट करेगा इन ड्राफ्टिंग सेक्शंस, जनरेटिंग समरीज. ओके. And so because ये सारे जो है, they are meant for that one. But again, I'm telling you that input is very important. Your the prompt is very important, and whatever the output which is coming, visualization of that output and taking the inference also very important. And grant writing, okay, basically identify fund opportunities, craft proposals. क्योंकि ये भी सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है, क्योंकि अभी तो आईसीएसएसआर से हम फंडिंग ले लेते हैं, माइटी से फंडिंग ले लेते हैं. अब आपने भी देखा होगा कि यूजीसी आल्सो स्टार्टेड द माइनर रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट्स एंड मेजर रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट्स. सो तो बहुत सारे मतलब प्रपोजल तो बनाते. तो इन इन प्रपोजल्स को और रिफाइन करके बेहतर बनाने के लिए ग्रैंड फॉरवर्ड एक इंटरेस्टिंग टूल है, इसको ट्राई कर लीजिएगा. इन्फो एट ग्लोबल एक और टूल है, ये काफी इंटरेस्टिंग वाली टूल्स है. सो दैट इन टूलों को लेके यू कैन प्रिपेयर ए नाइस, आपका प्रेजेंटेशन तो है ही, प्रेजेंटेशन बनाना पड़ेगा. सो दैट देन कुछ तो आपके लिए मदद करेगा, एंड देन यू कैन यूज इट फॉर बेटरमेंट ऑफ दिस. ओके. सो लेट्स बस आगे दो तीन स्लाइड्स है, उसके बाद देन मैं आप उसमें लिखे जाऊंगा. सो व्हाट आर द एडवांटेजेस, बेनिफिट्स क्या है इसमें? तो बिकॉज बेसिकली सर इतने क्लासिफिकेशन इतना सारा हो गया था. First one, speed and efficiency is very, very important. So, accelerate many aspects of research from data collection to analysis, allowing researchers to focus on generating insights and making discoveries. So, ये सबसे interesting and important वाली बात है. Speed and efficiency is very important है. सेकेंड, बिग हैंडलिंग बिग डेटा, मतलब ये छोटा मोटा डेटा को हैंडल करने से ज्यादा. सो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस excels at analyzing large data sets, providing insights that would be impossible to find manually. हाँ, हम तो कुछ लेवल तक ही मैन्युअली कर पाते हैं, बट इफ यू यूज द एआई data handling tools, that will be very much helpful and useful for you. Then multidisciplinary applications. This is again this type of research also very popular. And the AI tools can be adopted across different fields, whether in the social sciences, life sciences, engineering, or humanities. So this can be used. एक तो सबसे important है speed and efficiency. आप वो स्पीड को मैच भी नहीं कर सकते. And secondly, handling the huge amounts of data, and of course multidisciplinary application. बट ये सारे प्लस पॉइंट्स है, बट कुछ नेगेटिव इश्यूज भी है. मिटिगेटिंग एथिकल एंड प्राइवेसी कंसर्न्स लाइक डेटा प्राइवेसी इश्यूज है. अल्गोरिथमिक बायसेस है, मतलब जिन्होंने लिखा था कुछ वो बायस बना के लिख दिया तो हमें पता नहीं चलेगा क्या होता है. एंड ट्रांसपेरेंसी एक इश्यूज है, फेयरनेस एक इश्यूज है. but like मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ, these issues there with all technology driven applications, but I think they are there into the market, so this will be there. Today morning I have been reading out one interesting article. What is the future of AI? So somebody from the Google explaining that in future you will be walking with three. मतलब AI was so will be part of your system. The three people will be three good, knowledgeable persons you want to speak, and you'll be walking further. Because like आप देखिए, कई बार हम लोग कहते हैं कि अभी तो AI तो क्या, अब all our mobile phones, many features are AI enabled now. Okay, and the tracking is already going on, and Uber, Ola, Swiggy, Zomato, this Big Basket, Blinkit, yes, sorry, they're all AI enabled. But what I'm trying to say that yes, there are flip sides are already there. I'm not saying that उसको उससे डरना मना है, क्योंकि ये तो चलेगा चलेगा. Future of AI in education, and of course more immersive and engaging, and yeah, human and AI collaboration education is very important. It is meant for the personalized learning, very important. Immersive experiences like artificial intelligence, virtual reality, augmented reality, creating engaging learning environments, and AI supporting continuous skill development and career advancement. And of course, human AI integration is collaboration is very, very need of the hour. Yes, as I mentioned to you earlier also, the challenges मैंने आपको कहा था, bias and fairness एक issue है, और interpretability is also an issue. Many AI models, especially deep learning models, function as a black boxes. मैं हमेशा इसको लिखता हूँ, making it difficult to interpret how they reach that conclusion. अब देखिए, हम कुछ डेटा हमने इसको दिया था, कुछ आउटकम आ जाते हैं, वो कैसे वो आउटकम तक आ गया, कैसे उस आउटकम तक आ गया, वो उसके उसके बारे में तो कोई जानकारी नहीं होती है. सो तो रिसर्च में ट्रांसपेरेंसी चैलेंजेस ये आ जाता है, और एथिक्स एंड प्राइवेसी का एक इश्यू है. ओके, एंड टेक्निकल एक्सपर्टीज, देखिए अभी मैं आपको वो उसी में लेके जा रहा हूँ. एआई टूल्स ऑफन रिक्वायर ए सर्टेन लेवल ऑफ टेक्निकल एक्सपर्टीज. ऐसे मतलब ये मत डरना, मैं नहीं, आराम से एक, इसलिए मैंने आपको कहा था कि एक हफ्ते में फॉर द 7 days एटलीस्ट टेक 1 or 2 टूल्स, और धीरे 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 इसको सीखने की कोशिश कर लीजिएगा. अदरवाइज व्हाट हैपेंड, कई बार लोग मुझे एक और इंटरेस्टिंग सवाल पूछते हैं, सर ये सारे चीज नहीं अपनाएंगे क्या होता है? कुछ नहीं होगा. वी बिकेम ऑब्सोलीट इन फ्रंट ऑफ आवर स्टूडेंट्स, बिकॉज स्टूडेंट्स, हमें तो बस ठीक है, हमारे पास नौकरी है, हमने अपडेट नहीं किया, अपग्रेड नहीं किया, नॉर्मल लेवल पे क्लास पढ़ा रहे, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, ऐसे ही चलेगा. बट द प्रॉब्लम व्हाट हैपेंड व्हेन द स्टूडेंट्स आर आस्किंग दिस काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस इन द क्लास, देन वी बिकेम ऑब्सोलीट. क्योंकि हमसे तो आगे तो जाएंगे, बिकॉज दे विल बी हैविंग, दे नीड टू एक्सप्लोर, expose this kind of a things. इसलिए मैंने कहता हूँ, I think we need not get obsolete or redundant. What is important is एक टूल ले लीजिएगा, उसी टूल को, उसके टूल का देख लीजिएगा, what way it is be helpful but for the researchers, and slowly आप खुद एक्सप्लोर कर लीजिएगा. ओके, एंड जैसे मैंने आपको कहा था कि विजन, लाइक द एम्ब्रेसिंग, कंक्लूजन में दो तीन छोटे छोटे बातें आपको कहना था. एम्ब्रेसिंग इन एजुकेशन, ऑफ कोर्स इट हैज गॉट द ट्रांसफॉर्मेटिव पोटेंशियल, नो डाउट अबाउट इट, and of course we need to address the challenges. Collaboration is very important, collaboration among the educators, institutions, policymakers and technologists must work together, and very importantly continuous adaptation. So ongoing learning and flexibility are crucial in the AI enhanced education landscape. इसमें देखिए दो बातें का, ongoing learning मतलब कंटिन्यूअसली आपको सीखना पड़ेगा, और दूसरा सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी. हाँ ठीक है, मतलब कई बार आई थिंक वी शुड गिव थैंक्स टू प्रोफेसर अतीक, the director of Amravati University, Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University, for providing this kind of an options. कई बार लोग कहते हैं, अरे नहीं सर अभी तो चलेगा, एंड ऑफ कोर्स एवरीथिंग विल गो ऑन, नॉट ए प्रॉब्लम. अभी जिसको नहीं आता है, जिसको आता है ना, वो आगे हमेशा आगे रहेगा. So technology के बारे में, technology will not replace the great teachers, but technology in the hands of the great teachers will be transformational. ये सबसे important वाली बात है. So in conclusion, there are few important few conclusions also. तो landscape is brimming with innovative options like connected papers. अभी बताने वाला हूँ. Research Rabbit, Consciences, Chat PDF, Typeset, and Trinka. इस तरीके के tools are each catering to distinct needs within the research process. क्योंकि हर एक का टूल जो है अपने अपने कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग एरियाज को लेके आ गया. So whether you seek to efficiently grasp key findings or glean insights from the PDFs, convert documents with the fantasy, or refine your writing for publications, these AI-powered allies empower researchers to navigate the information ocean with greater speed and accuracy. Let me repeat it. Efficiently grasp key findings. Very, very, very important, because research findings are very, very important, and always, then glean research from the PDFs. There are so many PDFs are available, so that, we want to dig it out and get the information. Convert documents with fantasy, because there are so many documents are there. We do refine your writing for publication. Ultimately, whatever research you do, and your publication only will speak. And these AI-powered tools empower the researchers to navigate the information ocean with great speed and accuracy. But remember one thing, ये मैं एक्चुअली रेड कलर में करना चाहता था. तो रिमेंबर वन थिंग, दीज टूल्स आर नॉट ए मैजिक बुलेट और मैजिक वैन. तो कई बार लोग कहते हैं कि सर इससे तो नहीं. देयर ऑफ कोर्स करेंटली दीज टूल्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, but rather intelligent companions enhancing your research journey. So researchers journey ko, they are not the magic bullet, but they are the intelligent companions enhancing the researcher's journey. So what is important? The next three lines are very, by understanding their strengths and limitations, we can leverage them strategically to accelerate discovery, streamline tasks, and ultimately elevate the quality and impact of the research endeavors. So we know they're all intelligent companions for you in your research journey. Very true. So what is important is we need to understand their strengths, because every tool has a strength and every tool has some weaknesses. Basically, our purpose is to find out the strength of the tool and its limitations also, because every tool cannot do everything. And many times people say that, sir, it is only for finding 4 articles only, sir. I have 100 articles. No, it cannot. For which we need to either the institutions has to procure, or individually we need to procure, or we need to go for the another application. And you can leverage them strategically to accelerate the discovery. I think what is important for the, I think मैं इसी को मैंने कहा था कि आपके जो जानकारी है, उस जानकारी को स्ट्रेटेजिकली आपके जो कंटेंट को डिस्कवरी में इसका यूज होना चाहिए. And streamlining the tasks, very, very important. And ultimately elevate the quality and impact of your research endeavors. Ultimately ये सारे चीज इसलिए हम लोग कर रहे हैं, हम क्वालिटी रिसर्च आउटपुट को दे दे. That is more important for us. Okay, now, as I already mentioned to you, that there are certain interesting paper demonstrate, some interesting tools which I wish to demonstrate in this one. One of the interesting tool is connected papers. Okay, and second one is a research rabbit. Third one is the chat PDF. Fourth one is consciences. Fifth one is skyscape. And there is another thing called elicit also. Okay. अब मैं क्या करूंगा, अब आपको अब देखिए मैं एक एक टूल को समझाने के लिए कोशिश करूंगा. सो हम लोगों ने क्या किया था, हमारे यहाँ एक सिस्टम हमने बना रखा है. उस सिस्टम के मुताबिक मैं क्या करूंगा. Before I proceed further, could you please confirm that my voice is reaching to all of you, please? क्योंकि last half an hour है. I want to find out that my voice is reaching to all of you.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Very clear voice.
Okay. और मेरा presentation में भी कोई दिक्कत नहीं ना?
No, no, no,
Presentation?
nothing.
वेलकम
Nothing.
वेलकम, क्योंकि क्योंकि ये सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट, एक सेकेंड, 1 मिनट सर। ओके, सो with the help of my research scholars, we have created nice interactive things as far as these applications are concerned. कुछ तो मैंने आपके सामने, तो एक one of the very important interesting tool which is going to be, which I am going to demonstrate. एक सेकंड, ये इसको मिनिमाइज कर दूं। ओके, सो वन ऑफ द वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड इंटरेस्टिंग टूल, इसका नाम है इलिसिट। एंड ये भी काफी इंटरेस्टिंग टूल है। इसके आठ 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 नौ स्टेप्स है। सो मैं अभी क्या करूंगा, आगे अगले जो आधे घंटे में यही स्टेप्स को एक एक करके मैं डिमॉन्स्ट्रेट कर दूंगा धीरे धीरे। इसका, इस पर्टिकुलर साइट के मुख्य फीचर्स जो भी है, वही वही फीचर्स आपको मैं बताने के लिए मैं कोशिश करूंगा। ठीक है, सो सॉरी सॉरी, ओके, देखिए एक ये जो टूल है, इसका नाम है एलिसिट। और और यहाँ एक इंटरेस्टिंग वाली बात है, अभी मैं एलिसिट की वेबसाइट मैंने ओपन किया था। एंड एलिसिट का सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग वाली बात क्या है, ये दिस एनालाइजेस द रिसर्च पेपर्स एट सुपर ह्यूमन स्पीड। Okay, and it also automate time consuming research tasks like summarizing papers, extracting data, and synthesizing your findings। इन चीजों में ये काफी मदद करेगा। यहाँ एक छोटी सी बात मैं आप सबके लिए, जनरल जनरल बात है। All these applications are asking you to get registered। ओके, और कुछ एक आध एप्लीकेशंस जो है उन्हीं डेटाबेस में बनाने के लिए कहता है। सो साइन अप करने के दौरान, वन वन थिंग प्लीज कीप इन माइंड, डोंट यूज योर रेगुलर जनरल ईमेल आईडी या ऑफिशियल ईमेल आईडी। बेटर टू यूज एन ऑल्टरनेटिव ईमेल आईडी, उसी से साइन अप कर लीजिएगा। सो दैट वॉट एवर द प्रमोशंस, वॉट एवर द इंफॉर्मेशन दे आर गोइंग टू गिव, एंड इट विल बी रिसाइडिंग देयर इन दैट पार्ट ओनली। दिस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट टू बी नोटेड डाउन। ठीक है, सो अब देखिएगा व्हाट आर द स्टेप्स टू बी डन। सो फर्स्ट स्टेप जो है एलिसिट का, वी नीड टू साइन अप। सो एलिसिट की वेबसाइट में जाके हमने इसको साइन अप किए करेंगे। सिंपली पहले तो साइन अप करना हर एआई बेस्ड सिस्टम के लिए कॉमन है। अब देखिए, एक स्टेप टू के लिए कह रहा हूँ। अब मैंने भी इसको ऑलरेडी साइन अप में कर चुका हूं, सो मैं साइन इन करूंगा। साइन इन करने के बाद ये पूछेगा कि आपने, मतलब जिस जिस अकाउंट से मैंने साइन इन किया था, कंटिन्यू विद। सो मेरा जो इसके लिए, जैसे मैंने आपको पहले ही कहा था, इसके लिए मैं अलग से एक अकाउंट मैंने ओपन किया था। उसी अकाउंट के मुताबिक ये सारे डिटेल्स इसके साथ अवेलेबल है। ओके, और और सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट वाली बात यहाँ, एक एक छोटी सा चीज जो है मैं बताना चाहता हूँ आपको। अम, एक छोटा सा प्रश्न पूछ के रखेंगे। या ओके, मैं कुछ ऐसे क्वेश्चंस ले लेता हूँ। अम, एक सिंपल ले लेते हैं, व्हाट द वन ऑफ द प्राइमरी गोल्स ऑफ प्राइवेट लर्निंग एज एजुकेशन। चलो ये मान के चलते, ये इस इससे सो मेरा डिजिटल पेडागोजी के ऊपर प्रश्न है। ओके, यू नो, सो सिंपली मैंने लिखा था फाइंडिंग पेपर्स ऑन डिजिटल पेडागोजी। and so so summary of the four papers इसके अंदर आ रहा है. ओके, सो क्या किया आफ्टर लॉगिंग इनटू द सिस्टम, एक बार जरा देख लीजिएगा. और डिफाइन योर रिसर्च क्वेश्चन. एंड इस रिसर्च क्वेश्चन में हमने मतलब इसी पिछले के वर्कशॉप में व्हाट आर दी इफेक्ट्स ऑफ क्लाइमेट चेंज एंड आर्कटिक वाइल्ड लाइफ के बारे में पूछा. बट यहाँ मैंने डिजिटल पेडागोजी के बारे में पूछा था. अब देखिए डिजिटल पेडागोजी में वो समरी ऑफ द टॉप 4 पेपर्स अब मेरे सामने आ रहे हैं. समरी ऑफ द टॉप 4 पेपर्स मेरे मेरे सामने आ रहे हैं. अब इसके बाद आप अपग्रेड करोगे तो 8 पेपर्स का आ जाएगा. इसमें इसमें देखिए डिजिटल पेडागोजी का आप देखिए पेपर 1, पेपर 2 और नीचे तो पेपर 3, पेपर 4. देयर आर 4 पेपर्स आर अवेलेबल. और यहाँ देखिए आपके 3 कॉलम्स आ गया. सो बीच वाले कॉलम में एब्स्ट्रैक्ट की समरी है. और भी अब हम क्या क्या मतलब और भी प्रश्न इसके अंदर और रिफाइनिंग वगैरह जो कर सकते हैं. और देखिए स्टेप 4 में क्या किया था. Elicit will use your question to assess the relevant academic papers, articles and other sources and review the list of the sources. और इसको जैसे मैंने आपको पहले ही कहा था फिल्टर एंड रिफाइन भी अच्छा खासा कर सकते हैं. और इसके बाद क्या है कि वो तो इंटरेस्टिंग इंफॉर्मेशन को एक्सट्रैक्ट कर सकते हैं. तो इसमें मेन फाइंडिंग्स इसका इसका क्या है और व्हाट आर द मेथडोलॉजीज एंड हाउ आर द कंक्लूजंस, हाईलाइट द इंपॉर्टेंट सेक्शंस. देन इसके बाद कंपेयर एंड कॉन्ट्रास्ट भी इसके साथ अवेलेबल है. सो आप देखिए मतलब इसको नंबर 1 और इसको इसको दीज आर द टू दोनों को एनहांसिंग द लर्निंग प्रोसेस जो है. And 2020 it has got 1 citation, it has got the 0 citations. एंड ऑफ कोर्स इसको पीडीएफ ओपन हो जाएगा. ओके, ये गॉट 8 citations है. सो ये 35 citations है. 35 citations है. 35 citations आर अवेलेबल. ओके, देन हमने दो दो को सेलेक्ट किया था. दोनों को सेलेक्ट करने के बाद उसके एब्स्ट्रैक्ट को और इसको चेंज कर फुल टेबल व्यू को भी चेंज करके देखिए इस तरीके से हम कर सकते हैं. और सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग इंपॉर्टेंट वाली बात क्या है कि इसमें वो एक्स्ट्रा मेन फाइंडिंग्स क्या है, मेथोडोलॉजी क्या है, इंटरवेंशंस आउटकम में. सो ये सारे चीज इसके साथ आप लोग कर सकते हैं. तो और उसके बाद सिंथेसाइज फाइंडिंग्स हो सकते हैं. और उसके बाद सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है रिपोर्ट भी जनरेट आराम से हो सकता है. ओके, और इसको इसको इस तरीके से यूज कर सकते हैं. एलिसिट एक वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग एंड इंपॉर्टेंट वाली टूल, इसको हम लोग यूज अच्छा खासा कर लेंगे. चलिए, अब बारी है और इंटरेस्टिंग एक और इंटरेस्टिंग टूल है. उस टूल का नाम है, ये भी हमने स्टेप्स वगैरह बनवाया था. और इसका इस टूल का नाम है कनेक्टेड पेपर्स. और कनेक्टेड पेपर्स भी एक ऑनलाइन विजुअल टूल है designed to help academics, researchers, and students explore scholarly literature in a visually interactive environment. सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग वाली बात है, ये भी काफी मतलब ये भी है, कॉन्शंसस है, रिसर्च रैबिट है. तो ऑलमोस्ट हमारे लिए काफी मददगार साबित हो रहा है. So इसके साथ it helps to find out, explore papers relevant to their field of work in a visual way. And of course 50,000 पेपर्स भी इसके साथ कनेक्टेड है. और select one paper with the strongest connections to the original paper. सबसे सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग ओरिजिनल पेपर क्या है, कौन सा पेपर है, एंड उसको वो उस पेपर को लेके कितना चेंजेस लोगों ने कर रखा है. और 1 मिनट के लिए इसका फीचर्स यहाँ डिस्कस कर लेंगे. तब तक मैं ये पेपर का ओपन कर लेता हूँ. कनेक्टेड सो इसका वेबसाइट है कनेक्टेड पेपर्स की. कनेक्टेड पेपर्स की वेबसाइट है. इस कनेक्टेड पेपर्स की वेबसाइट में तो भाई अगेन यहाँ भी वही वाली बात है, जैसे मैंने पहले से ही लॉगिन कर रखा है. वही आपका जीमेल अकाउंट से जो इसको लॉगिन कर लीजिएगा. और करने के बाद यहाँ दो तीन इंटरेस्टिंग वाली चीज आपके लिए काफी यूजफुल रहेगा, हम सबके लिए यूजफुल रहेगा. एक नंबर 1 ग्राफ बेस्ड एक्सप्लोरेशन है. नंबर टू, प्रायर एंड डेरिवेटिव वर्क्स, मतलब कौन सा वर्क, मतलब कौन सा काम जो है इम्पोर्टेंट, एंसेस्टर कौन है उसका, मतलब कौन किसने शुरू किया था, एंड वहां से डेरिवेटिव मतलब उसको लेके किसने दूसरों ने बनाया था। तीसरा बिब्लियोग्राफिक क्रिएशन है, और चौथा वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट है, क्रॉस डिसिप्लिनरी सपोर्ट भी है। सो मतलब मशीन लर्निंग रिसर्चर हो, बायोलॉजिस्ट हो, और फिलोसोफर हो, connected papers leverages the semantic scholar database which covers a wide range of scientific things। ठीक है। और इसका ये सारे प्रोसेसेस है, देखिए मतलब इस तरीके से बना रखा है ताकि इसको करने में मेरे शोध विद्यार्थियों के लिए काम आएगा इस तरीके से। एंड इसमें ओपन करना है, कनेक्टेड कनेक्टेड पेपर्स में ओपन करना है। ओपन करने के बाद जैसे मैंने आपको कहा था, यहाँ जाके मैं रिसर्च वो कीवर्ड्स दे दूंगा, जैसे मैंने आपको पहले ही कहा था, डिजिटल पेडागोगी। ओके, सो डिजिटल पेडागोगी क्लिक कर दिया मैंने। क्लिक करने के बाद एंड अब देखिए, जब डिजिटल पेडागोगी लिख रहा था, डिजिटल पेडागोगी एंड टीचर एजुकेशन, ये किरण लता दंगवाल का डिजिटल पेडागोगी डिफाइनिंग द एंड कॉन्सेप्चुअल एरिया है। और डिजिटल पेडागोगी, सी ऑल पेपर सजेस्टिंग फॉर द डिजिटल पेडागोगी, जब आप क्लिक करेंगे इसके अंदर सारे पेपर्स इसके अंदर आ जाएंगे। और उसके और ये इस तरीके से इस पेपरों को अच्छा खासा वेरी सिंपल, और इसके पेपर्स को पहली बात है सेव कर लो। सेव करने के बाद चलिए पहले तो एक एक करके अब देखिए, पहले आपने तो यहाँ सर्च किया था, सर्च करने के बाद पेपर्स इसके अंदर आ गई। आने के बाद सारे पेपर्स जो दिख तो रहे थे। नाउ अपॉन सेलेक्टिंग वन ऑफ द पेपर इट विल डिस्प्ले थ्री पैनल्स एंड ए ग्राफ। ठीक है, अब देखिए मैं ये कौन सा पेपर, चलो मान लीजिएगा मैं इस पेपर को सिलेक्ट कर दूंगा। जब इस पेपर को मैंने सेलेक्ट किया था, डिजिटल पेडागोजी द यूज ऑफ डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजीज एंड कंटेंट, ओरिजिनल पेपर है, आप देखिए लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में ओरिजिनल पेपर को, ओरिजिनल पेपर के जो इंडिगो कलर में, मतलब वो डार्क कलर में आपको दिखाई दे रहा है इसमें। और यहाँ इंटरेस्टिंग वाली बात ये भी है, यहाँ देखिएगा, each note is an academic paper related to the original paper। ठीक है, एंड यहाँ सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग है, पेपर्स आर अरेंज्ड अकॉर्डिंग टू देयर सिमिलैरिटी। पेपर्स आर अरेंज्ड अकॉर्डिंग टू देयर सिमिलैरिटी, दिस इज नॉट a citation tree। Okay, papers are arranged according to their similarity। Note size is the number of citations। नंबर टू। और नंबर तीन जो है, नोट कलर इज द पब्लिशिंग ईयर। तो नो ये कब पब्लिश हुआ। और सिमिलर पेपर्स हैव स्ट्रॉन्ग कनेक्टिंग लाइंस आर क्लस्टर्ड टुगेदर। ओके, ताकि हमें तो ये पहले पता चलेगा कि भाई ये कौन, ये इसकी, और साथ साथ इसके साथ ये भी है कि कितने साइटेशंस इसके साथ, ये पेपर पब्लिश कब हुआ, फिंगर ब्रीफ एजुकेशन में। और इसके साथ 12 साइटेशन से सेव भी कर सकते हैं इसको, सिमेंटिक स्कॉलर से ओपन कर सकते हैं, डीओआई से ओपन कर सकते हैं, गूगल स्कॉलर से ओपन कर सकते हैं। ओके, और इसको सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग वाली बात है, ये कनेक्शंस देखिए, इसके साथ ओरिजिनल पेपर है। और क्योंकि ये थोड़ा फॉन्ट का इश्यू पर आ रहा है, एक सेकंड में थोड़ा सा इसको ऐसे करके ये देखिएगा। हम्म, और देखिए यहाँ देखिएगा। ओके, और ये 2023 में पेपर लिखा था। देन अदर पेपर्स भी देखिए, अदर पेपर जो इन्होंने पहले ही कहा था। आप एक बार इसकी इसके तरफ देखो, पेपर्स आर अकॉर्डिंग टू देयर सिमिलैरिटी है। नोट साइज इंपॉर्टेंट, नोट सिमिलर पेपर्स हैव स्ट्रॉन्ग कनेक्टिंग लाइंस आर क्लस्टर्ड टुगेदर। ये देखिए, और यहाँ से देखिए, ये केली 2017 का है। ये साथ, और इसके साथ ये, और ये इस पेपर का करेक्शन इसके साथ भी है। ओके, ये डायरेक्ट कनेक्शन, आहूजा 2021 जो है, इनका पेपर इसी के साथ डायरेक्ट कनेक्शन है। और ऐसे कई सारे पेपर्स हैं, ऐसे कई सारे पेपर्स हैं। और इन्हीं के थ्रू से ये हुआ था। इसको छोटा कर लो, और इसके बाद देन इसी तरीके से इन पेपरों को एक्सेस आप कर सकते हो। और एक दूसरा सबसे इंटरेस्ट ये यही वाली बात है, द साइज ऑफ द नोट के बारे में बताया था। आप इसके बाद क्या कर सकते हैं, अब आप स्क्रॉल द पेपर इन द लेफ्ट पैनल में स्क्रॉल करके व्हेनेवर यू क्लिक ऑन ए पेपर देयर एंड इट विल बी हाईलाइटेड ऑन द ग्राफ आल्सो। मतलब ये पेपर को जब हमने यहाँ करते हैं और यहाँ देखिएगा, ये ऊपर देखिए तीन चीजें आपको दिख रहे हैं। एक तो प्रायर वर्क्स, मतलब ये ओरिजिनल वर्क क्या है। डेरिवेटिव वर्क्स, इस पेपर को लेके किसने क्या बनाया, लिस्ट व्यू भी है, फिल्टर भी है, और भी मोर इंफॉर्मेशन, ग्राफ वर्जन है, फुल स्क्रीन है, ये डाउनलोड का ऑप्शन भी आपको दे रहे हैं, इस ग्राफ को शेयर भी आप कर सकते हो। मतलब मेरा कहने का मतलब ये है कि, और इसको इसको कुछ लिमिटेड फीचर्स इसके साथ, कुछ कुछ प्रॉब्लम, मतलब लिमिटेड तक ही ऑप्शन अवेलेबल है, बट ये शुरुआत करने के बाद, एक्सप्लोर करने के बाद वी कैन सी मेनी मोर फीचर्स कैन कम लाइक दिस, ओके, लाइक दिस। एंड प्रेयर वर्क्स का मतलब, हाँ ये भी सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट वाली बात है, बार बार लोग मुझे जनरली ये पूछते हैं, प्रेयर वर्क्स दे आर द रिसर्च पेपर दैट वाज फ्रीक्वेंटली cited by the papers already in the graph, prior works, and they are the important foundational works for the field, ओके। जब आप प्रेयर वर्क्स के ऊपर जब क्लिक करेंगे, इट हाईलाइट्स ऑल द ग्राफ पेपर्स द डिफरेंस इट इन द लेफ्ट साइड पैनल। और डेरिवेटिव वर्क्स के मतलब ये है कि दीज आर द रिसर्च पेपर दैट आर साइटेड बाय मेनी ऑफ द ग्राफ पेपर्स। They could be either recent relevant works है, और comprehensive survey of the tools है। ये आपके लिए भी, हमारे लिए भी काफी मददगार साबित हो जाएगा। इसके अंदर फ्री वर्जन है और एकेडमिक लाइब्रेरी वर्जन भी इसके साथ अवेलेबल है, हम उसको बाद में यूज भी कर सकते हैं। चलिए, अब इसके बारे में, इसके बाद एक और चीज के बारे में बात करेंगे, वो भी काफी इंटरेस्टिंग है। उसका नाम है रिसर्च रैबिट। मैंने आपको पहले ही कहा था कि मैं कुछ ही चीजों को कन्फाइन कर दूंगा। ये भी एक इंटरेस्टिंग वाली प्लेटफॉर्म है, एंड ये भी बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग वे में ये हमारे लिए मदद करेगा, ये रिसर्च रैबिट। एंड ये इसका इसका खास फंक्शनिंग है, ऑफ कोर्स बहुत कुछ फीचर्स इसके साथ अवेलेबल है, and powerful citation based literature mapping tool। ये है citation based literature mapping tool designed to assist researchers, academics and students in navigating scholarly literature effectively। ये सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग वाली बात है। सो बेसिकली इसका एम ये भी यही है, मिनिमाइज द टाइम सर्चिंग फॉर रेफरेंसेस फॉर पेपर्स, आर्टिकल्स, प्रोजेक्ट्स, एंड ये टूल सपोर्ट्स रिसर्च एक्टिविटी विदाउट स्विचिंग बिटवीन सर्च मॉडल्स एंड द डेटाबेस आल्सो। और इसमें ग्राफ बेस्ड एक्सप्लेनेशन अवेलेबल है, एंसेस्टर एंड डेरिवेटिव, एंसेस्टर मतलब प्रेयर वर्क्स, डेरिवेटिव वर्क्स क्या है, बिब्लियोग्राफी क्रिएशन भी इसके साथ हो जाएगा, साइटेशन बेस्ड रिकमेंडेशन इंजन भी इसके साथ है, और बाकी छोटे छोटे चीजें अवेलेबल भी है। और सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग जो है, 50,000 प्लस भी हो गया, अब तो 50,000 तो पहले पुरानी की बात है, 50,000 प्लस रिसर्च पेपर्स जनरेट विजुअल ग्राफिक्स ऑफ द रिलेटेड वर्क्स। तो मैं इसलिए आपको कह रहा था कि हमारा रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है, सिंपली ये फीचर्स तो इसके साथ इंपॉर्टेंट है। सो ये यूसेज जो है, रिसर्च डिस्कवरी में तो काम आएगा, एक्सप्लोर ट्रेंड्स एंड डायनेमिक्स इन द फील्ड है, और एफिशिएंट लिटरेचर रिव्यू भी है, वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग है, और थीसिस बायोग्राफी, बिब्लियोग्राफी क्रिएशन के लिए इसको यूज कर सकते हैं हम लोग। और सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट, अंडरस्टैंडिंग द प्रायर एंड डेरिवेटिव वर्क्स। चलो, रिसर्च रैबिट को हम ओपन करेंगे, वही वाली बात है, तो एक बार आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन करना पड़ेगा इसके साथ, जैसे मैंने आपको पहले ही कर रखा था। अम, मैंने पिछले बार जो है एक आर्टिकल को ढूंढने का कोशिश किया था, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ फॉरम एक्टिविटीज, क्योंकि मूक्स में हम सबको पता है, स्वयं भारत सरकार की मूक्स प्रोग्राम है, विच इज ए टेक्नोलॉजी enabled self asynchronous self study mode supporting the synchronous learning। सो इसके साथ कई सारे जो आर्टिकल की बात आ गई, तो कई सारे आर्टिकल्स इन्होंने रेफर करके दिया था, तो मैंने सोचा कि ये आर्टिकल्स इसके बारे में बात कर लेंगे। तो हमने क्या किया था, रिसर्च रैबिट में गया, और उसके बाद यहाँ एक लेफ्ट डाउन कॉर्नर में एक ऑप्शन है, ऐड पेपर्स करके। ये देखिए, यहाँ देखिए, ऐड पेपर्स करके, जब मैं ऐड पेपर के ऊपर क्लिक करता हूँ, ये यहाँ से, ये इसको सीधा फायदेमंद आपके पास रहेगा जो रेफरेंसिंग टूल्स है, जैसे मैंने मैंडले और जोटेरो के बारे में बताया था। ये बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग, बहुत यूजफुल रेफरेंसिंग टूल्स है। लोग हम सब लोग कई वर्षों से इसको तो यूज ही कर ही रहे। अब मेरा कहने का मतलब ये है, आई थिंक दे कैन बी यूज्ड मच मोर इजीली एंड कन्वीनियंटली विद दिस। और यहाँ आप, दिस इज फॉर दोज पीपल, इसमें इसमें आप जैसे मैंने आपको पहले ही कहा था, डिजिटल पेडागॉगी, तो डिजिटल पेडागॉगी, और इसके बाद आप चाहे तो आप अपलोड भी कर सकते हो फाइल को। और आपके जो आपके पास जोटेरो, जोटेरो आप जो यूज कर रहे हैं, जोटेरो को भी इस तरीके से यूज आप करके इसके अंदर एक्सेस कर सकते हैं। एंड जो मैंने सर्च किया था, इसमें इसके अंदर मेरे पास एक 2020 का एक आर्टिकल आ गया, 2023 में एक आर्टिकल है, डिजिटल पेडागोजी, द यूज ऑफ डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजीज एंड कंटेम्परेरी एजुकेशन। मैं इसको ऐड टू कलेक्शन में कर देता हूँ। इसके बाद चार चार कलेक्शंस इसके साथ आप कर सकते हैं, ठीक है। और सिमिलरली इम्प्रूव डिजिटल ब्रदर इन इन सर्विस ऑफ द एलिमेंट्री स्कूल टीचर, ये भी एक इंटरेस्टिंग वाली बात है। तो जो जो चीज आप इसको करना चाहते हो, अपने हिसाब से इसको कर लीजिएगा, सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट वाली बात है। और एक और इम्पोर्टेंट वाली बात इसके साथ ये भी है, चलिए एक दो पेपर को ऐड कर लिया। पेपर को ऐड करने के बाद अ, मतलब बिब्लियोग्राफिक डेटाबेसेस में से और आरआईएस पेपर्स भी, रिसर्च इनपुट वाली पेपर्स भी इसके साथ अपलोड कर सकते हो। अच्छा, पेपर आने के बाद सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग वाली बात इसके साथ क्या है, यहां तक हमने कर दिया था, और ऐड टू कलेक्शन भी हमने कर दिया था। आफ्टर यू फिनिश एडिंग पेपर्स, you will see the papers you added and you can write comments about them। और हर एक एक पेपर का पेपर के बारे में आप इसको, फॉर एग्जांपल मैंने इसको ऑलरेडी कर रखा था। करने के बाद देखिए व्हाट काइंड ऑफ, नहीं, ये नीचे का जो है डिजिटल पेडागोजी के ऊपर देखिए, मैंने मैंने इसको कमेंट, इसके अंदर कमेंट लिख सकता हूँ, व्हाट इज व्हाट कमेंट्स आई वांट टू राइट डाउन, आई कैन राइट डाउन हियर। और इसमें सिमिलर वर्क्स भी देखिए, 220 का इतना दिखाई दे रहा है, ओके। और सॉरी, ये है उसके लिए है, एक सेकंड एक सेकंड, डिजिटल पेडागोजी, डिजिटल पेडागोजी में देखिए 171 सिमिलर वर्क्स है। जब मैं सिमिलर वर्क्स के ऊपर बात करता हूँ, अब देखिए नेटवर्क से लेके टाइमलाइन से लेके सारे इंफॉर्मेशन आ रहे हैं। और आपको चाहिए एब्स्ट्रैक्ट्स भी, चाहिए एब्स्ट्रैक्ट्स भी आपको मिल जाएगा, ऑथर्स भी, सजेस्टेड ऑथर्स भी, लिंक्ड कंटेंट भी। मतलब एक आर्टिकल को, मतलब कोई भी सर्च आपने तो, बेसिकली हमने सर्च करके जब हम लिखते रहते तो ये सारे चीज हमारे लिए काम आएगा। इसमें यू कैन एक्सप्लोर द सिमिलर वर्क्स रिलेटेड टू द पेपर, क्योंकि ताकि क्या होता है कि हमारे लिए, हमारे लिटरेचर सर्वे में ये सारे चीज आराम से, इत्मीनान से हम इसको सेट कर सकते हैं। And if you want to view the selected paper, you can able to view the author name, abstract, author name, publication, journal, like I have shown you. And it also shows a picture that lets you explore the connections between the papers or authors in scholarly network. And one more interesting feature is we can easily access the content of a source by clicking on the blue circle. यहाँ देखिए, एक ब्लू सर्किल जो है ना, देखिए यहाँ यहाँ किसी को भी सर्च कर लेते हैं। वन पेपर वाज सिलेक्टेड, इस पेपर में देखिए, देन एंड इफ यू वांट टू गेट द पीडीएफ ऑफ द पेपर, एंड द पेपर कैन कम ऑटोमेटिकली इनटू दिस सिस्टम। सो मेरा कहने का मतलब ये है कि they have got so many options are there, and which we can able to get through that. In the graph type also, अब you can change the way the graph looks like। मतलब अभी अभी देखिए पूरा, आपने ग्राफ्स में भी ये चीज, ये देखिए पेपर आ रही है, डाउनलोड हो रही है। शायद हो चुकी है। यस, ये देखिए, आ, ये ये एक इम्पोर्टेंट यूरोपियन जर्नल ऑफ कॉन्टेम्पररी एजुकेशन 2022 का एक पेपर है। ओके। बट यहाँ एक इंटरेस्टिंग वाली बात आपने देख लोगा कि यहाँ तो टाइमलाइन के हिसाब से अब देखिए कौन सा अ, यहाँ टाइम जो है 2000, सॉरी, इसमें देखिए 2023 से लेके 2023, 2016, 2009, 2002, 1995, 1988। सो जूम इन जूम आउट करके ये सारे चीज आप इनको आराम से निकाल सकते हो, सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट वाली बात है। और उसके बाद उसको एक्सप्लोर करके यू नो सिमिलर वर्क्स इसके साथ क्या है, और सिमिलर वर्क्स के लिस्टिंग भी आ जाएगा, एब्स्ट्रैक्ट्स भी आ जाएंगे, कनेक्शन ग्राफ्स मतलब वो किसके साथ कनेक्टेड है वो भी आ जाएगा, लेबलिंग भी अच्छा खासा कर सकते हैं। एंड आप भी अपने रेफरेंस नेटवर्क को बिल्ड कर सकते हैं। देखिए कुछ फीचर्स जो अभी मैंने यहाँ दिखा रहा हूँ, वो फीचर्स जो है जब तक आप कुछ मतलब ऑलमोस्ट 60 to 70% फीचर्स आर इजीली अवेलेबल फॉर यू। बट समटाइम्स क्या होता है, कुछ फीचर्स जो है आपको कुछ एक्स्ट्रा कर लेना पड़ेगा। अब यहाँ दो तीन इंटरेस्टिंग वाली बातें लोग हमेशा मुझे पूछते रहते, इसलिए मैंने यहाँ लिखा था। इन दोनों के कंपैरिजन क्या है सर, कनेक्टेड पेपर्स में और इसका पेपर में? की फीचर जो है, एक तो ग्रुप बेस्ड एक्सप्लोरेशन है, यहाँ भी वही चीज है। थोड़ा बहुत फंक्शनलिटी जो है, ओवरव्यू ऑफ ए फील्ड हेल्प विद इन्फ्लुएंशियल पेपर्स एंड ऑल, एंड क्विकली फाइंड द रिलेवेंट आर्टिकल्स। लिमिटेशंस जो है, प्रीमियम अकाउंट रिस्ट्रिक्शन है, बट रिसर्च रैबिट में ऐसा कोई रिस्ट्रिक्शन नहीं। यूसेज इन द लिटरेचर रिव्यू के लिए यूज कर सकते हैं कनेक्टेड पेपर्स को और कीवर्ड्स के साथ। एंड रैपिड आर्टिकल डिस्कवरी सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट, मल्टी सोर्स कंटेंट इंटीग्रेशन। रैपिड रिसर्च रैपिड में सबसे बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग वाली बात ये सी है। ठीक है। तो हमने तीन चीज अभी तक डिस्कस किया था, एलिसिट, कनेक्टेड पेपर्स एंड रिसर्च रैबिट। ये तीनों चीज काफी इंटरेस्टिंग है और इसको हम ये अच्छा खासा यूज भी कर सकते हैं। नेक्स्ट वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एक और इंटरेस्टिंग वाली चीज है जो हम इसको यूज करने की जो कोशिश करेंगे, उसका नाम है कंसेंसस। ये है एआई बेस्ड सर्च इंजन फॉर रिसर्च। सो इसके अंदर तो ये स्पेशली डिजाइन किया गया था टू एक्सपर्टेट द सिंप्लीफाई रिसर्च प्रोसेसेस। सो इट्स इंटरेस्टिंग, let me show you that. Let me close all these things. Let me open. Okay, this is again a very interesting tool. Please confirm that my presentation and my voice is reaching to you people, friends. Is the voice clear? Presentation is reaching to you?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Very clear.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay. So now, this चौथा एलिसिट, कनेक्टेड पेपर्स, रिसर्च रैबिट के बाद एक और इंटरेस्टिंग वाली चीज, चौथा टूल जो है काफी इंटरेस्टिंग है, उसका नाम है कॉन्शंसस। इसमें तो आज द रिसर्च अगेन मैं यही पूछूंगा, डिजिटल पेडागोजी और इसमें डिजिटल पेडागोजी में व्हाट इज डिजिटल पेडागोजी ऑफ सेंसिबिलिटी, ओके, व्हाट एवर इट मे बी। तो सिंपली मैंने इसको, हाँ, ये नॉर्मल मोड है, ये प्रो मोड नहीं है। ओके, इसमें इसलिए मैं कह रहा हूँ ये नॉर्मल मोड में ये जो चलेगा। सो मैं इसको सर्च कर रहा हूँ, तब तक मैं आपको स्टेप्स भी दिखा दूंगा कॉन्शियसनेस का, जब तक ये आ जाएंगे। और इसके साथ भी वही है, कंसाइज समरीज आपको मिलेंगे, एविडेंस बेस्ड आंसर्स आपको मिलेंगे, मल्टीपल पर्सपेक्टिव्स मिलेंगे, और रिसर्च प्रोसेस के लिए, लिटरेचर रिव्यू के लिए हम इसको बहुत अच्छा खासा यूज कर सकते हैं। डेवलपिंग रिसर्च क्वेश्चंस भी इसके साथ काफी इंटरेस्टिंग है, एंड इवेल्युएटिंग सोर्सेस है, स्टेइंग करंट, ये बातें हैं। और ये सेम प्रोसीजर मैंने आपको अभी दिखाया था। पहली बात है, सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट वाली बात है, इसको एक बार साइन अप आपको करना है। मैंने साइन अप के लिए पहले ही से ही बता दिया था कि यू शुड यूज ए ऑल्टरनेटिव जीमेल अकाउंट। सो यहाँ अकाउंट साइन अप करने के बाद then we can write down your research question and click on the search button, which I did just now, and will fetch the research papers list. देखिए मेरा ओके, सो डोंट आस्क मी अगेन, वो पेपर्स जो है इसके साथ आ रहे हैं। 1 minute friends। सो इसके साथ क्या है कि ये ऑफ कोर्स एनालिसिस जो कर रही है, और इसमें पेडागोजिकल ओरिएंटेशन प्रैक्टिसेस है, और इसमें क्या है कि जो जर्नल ऑफ पैसिफिक रिम साइकोलॉजी में ये पब्लिश हुआ है, और इसमें देखिएगा टेक्नोलॉजी पेडागोजी एंड एजुकेशन रिफ्लेक्शन, ये वाली बात आगे आगे, और सिमिलरली दूसरा पेपर भी है। सो लाइक दिस देर आर these papers are going to be like this, there are so many papers related searches जो है, और इसमें स्टडी स्नैपशॉट से लेके इसके सब कुछ इसके अंदर कर सकते हैं। और इसके साथ खासियत ये है, और पेपर आपको यहाँ आ गए, वी कैन एक्सपोर्ट एंड उनसे पढ़ेगा, we can export or share the list of research papers as a CSV file also। ओके, अब देखिए यहाँ ऑप्शन, इसको मैं डाउनलोड जो करता हूँ, एंड इसमें शेयरिंग का भी ऑप्शन है। ओके, लिंक कॉपीड, और ये जो डाउनलोड वाली बात है, और देखिए सीएसवी फाइल की जो बातें कह रहे हैं ना, जब इस सीएसवी पर कॉमा, सीएसवी का मतलब है कॉमा सेपरेटेड वैल्यूज, जब इसके अंदर करेंगे जो जो इन्फॉर्मेशन हमें हमारे पास चाहिए वो सारे देखिएगा, अच्छा खासा एक्सेल शीट पे आ जाएगा। और एक्सेल शीट में दिखता कैसे, हैव ए लुक, तो देखिए, and I just want to make it little bigger, this one. See, hope it is visible to all of you. Hope this is visible to all of you. Please confirm. So, and this comes as Excel sheet. Title है, takeaway है, authors है, when कौन सा साल का है, how many citations are there, abstract क्या है, study type, journal कौन सा है, जर्नल की जो एंड डेट ऑफ पब्लिकेशन है, कौन से इसका लिंक है, और क्या चाहिए हमें। What I'm trying to say that if you could able to get something of this sort, so the life of a researcher will be much comfortable। ओके, एंड इसको जैसे मैंने आपको पहले ही कहा था, वी कैन शेयर द लिस्ट आल्सो लाइक दिस। ओके, एंड क्लिक ऑन द पेपर टू व्यू द एब्स्ट्रैक्ट, मतलब हम कोई किसी भी पेपर के ऊपर, पेपर में जब क्लिक करेंगे, एंड तो इसमें एब्स्ट्रैक्ट भी हम आपको दिखाई देंगे, तो वी कैन साइट, एंड क्लिक टू फाइंड आउट द साइटेशन इन डिफरेंट स्टाइल्स आल्सो, क्योंकि अभी हमारे सामने कई सारे साइटेशंस के ऑप्शंस लिस्टिंग है। अभी तो साइटेशन सबसे बड़ा मसला है आज के तारीख में। एपीए मॉडल है, एमएलए मॉडल है, चिकागो मॉडल है, हार्वर्ड मॉडल है, बीबीटेक्स के मॉडल है, वट एवर मे बी, वी कैन एबल टू यूज दैट। ठीक है, एंड देन सिमिलरली वो इसको फाइंडिंग को साइट भी कर सकते हैं। ओके, एंड फुल टेक्स्ट के लिए तो इस आर्टिकल को मतलब ये पेपर जो सिमेंटिक स्कॉलर में अवेलेबल है, एंड दिस कैन बी, इसको डाउनलोड भी कर सकते हैं, फुल टेक्स्ट हम डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं। एंड सो बेसिकली ये तो नॉर्मल मॉडल की मैं बात कर रहा हूँ, और एक्स्ट्रा फीचर्स और एक्स्ट्रा एडवांटेजेस वगैरह चाहिए होता है, तो then we can go for that one. Otherwise, what I've been personally speaking that this can be able to use without any difficulty as such। अभी समय सिर्फ हमारे पास 2-3 मिनट है। There is one more very important and interesting tool called chat PDF। चैट जीपीटी तो आपके पास सुना था, चैट पीडीएफ इज नॉट ऑफिशियल रिलेटेड टू बिंग। इट्स अ यूनिक एआई पावर्ड टूल डिजाइन्ड स्पेसिफिकली फॉर इंटरेक्टिंग विद पीडीएफ्स। ओके, और इसका फंक्शनैलिटी जल्दी जल्दी दिखा दूंगा, क्योंकि आपका तो शायद अगला सेशन भी होगा। सिंपली इफ यू ओपन द चैट पीडीएफ, वही इसके अंदर आप फाइल को ड्रैग कर लीजिएगा। और अकाउंट बनाना, आप स्टूडेंट है, क्या, व्हाट इज योर रोल, इट हैज टू बी सेट। एंड ब्राउज पीडीएफ फाइल्स ऑन योर कंप्यूटर और फ्रॉम द यूआरएल टू लोड। ओके। एंड आप रिसर्च पेपर को लोड कर लीजिएगा। एंटर योर क्वेश्चन इन द प्रॉम्प्ट बॉक्स एंड क्लिक एंटर। इसमें अंदर वो विल एनालाइज द पेपर एंड डिस्प्ले द आंसर। आपके पास जो पेपर है उसके ऊपर भी प्रश्न आपको पूछने, क्योंकि अब देखिए प्रॉब्लम क्या होते है, बहुत सारे पेपर्स को इतना लिख के, क्यों हमारे पास इतना समय की बात है, तो रिसर्चर्स के लिए का मतलब, तो इसको इसको नॉर्मल सब्सक्रिप्शन वाली, मतलब ज्यादा सब पेपर्स की जरूरत है तो इतना पेपर्स को वो कर लेगा। और एक और है टाइप सेट आईओ, ये भी लिटरेचर रिव्यू के लिए बहुत काम आएगा। इसको भी सही, जैसे हमने पहले भी कहा था, इसी इसी तरीके से पेपर को अपलोड करके और कीवर्ड्स देके चल सकते हैं। और लास्ट ऑप्शन मैं आपको बताने वाला था, वो उसका ऑप्शन जो है काफी इंटरेस्टिंग है वो। एक सेकंड। त्रिंका। त्रिंका एनहेंसिंग एकेडमिक राइटिंग एंड पब्लिशिंग, ये भी काफी फोकस ऑन एआई टूल फॉर टीचिंग एंड लर्निंग बट ऑफर्स फीचर्स एंड बेनिफिशियल फॉर रिसर्चर्स आल्सो, इसको आप यूज कर सकते हो। तो इस तरीके से ये सारे टूल्स आपके लिए तो काफी मददगार स्थापित करेंगे। But one point which I just want to again bring back to your concern and your attention is, so there are certain challenges and considerations are there. One is about the bias and fairness. So AI models can inherit biases from training data, potentially leading to unfair research outcomes. Researchers must be vigilant in detecting and mitigating these their biases. इंटरप्रेटेबिलिटी इज अ बिग इश्यू, क्योंकि पता नहीं, कभी कभार तो ऐसे रिपोर्ट आ जाते हैं, हमें पता नहीं चलता कि भाई ये कहाँ से आया था। तीसरा जो है एथिक्स एंड प्राइवेसी, ऑफ कोर्स द यूज ऑफ पर्सनल और सेंसिटिव डेटा एंड एआई ड्रिवन रिसर्च रिक्वायर्स केयरफुल consideration of privacy, content, and ethical concerns. Researchers must prioritize ethical practices. The fourth one, which is very important, is technical expertise. Okay. So these things require the practice. First of all, we should be, as I mentioned to you, that awareness is first point. Second one is the objectives and expected outcomes are very important. Number three, then prompting. What type of prompting? What are the features are there? How that features are going to be helpful and useful for us? This is the way, and these things should be. So let me stop sharing my screen, and so that's all, friends. I wish to say, if you have any quick questions, comments are there, I wish to answer your questions.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello,
yes,
sir.
yes,
Could
yes,
you
yes.
hear me?
Yeah. I can.
Yeah. I'm Tushar Deshmukh, one of the participants, and
Yeah.
it was very nice information you provided all of us. Only concern what you also mentioned in your presentation that there may be a bias. So how to deal with this bias if at all any researcher requires any information, whether it is bias free or not, how to deal with this issue?
Tusharji, very interesting question you asked. Yes,
Yeah.
there are, like for example, there are connected tools are available. Whether
Yeah.
this has been, because what happened, the AI, the main code, the Sam Altman, when he's developed, he
Hmm.
has used a huge sets of database. So
Correct.
they have created a multiple enabling environments also,
Mhm.
which can be find out. Recently, I must tell you one thing. And at the same time, we researchers are very clear, and we are not only solely dependent on this AI based tools. Of course,
Yeah.
we have our library tools, and
Correct.
our
Correct.
universities and colleges. We already subscribe to some journals which are very
Journals,
authentic,
online journals.
online journals, and of
Yeah.
course open source, printed, and other things. So my point is that I think still in India, or even outside the world also, there are options are available. But only thing is, as a researcher, I need to take doubly cautious. But tools are available. See,
Yeah,
I have
tools are
told you that
available. Those are
tools
correct.
are available, and we can comfortably cross check what was the. I have told you that sometimes some kind of report, some kind of output it is showing. I don't know where it is coming. That
Yeah, yeah.
so, but the point is that yes, I'm not saying that because they want to be in the fray. So
Mm.
generally, the computer software cannot be if you leave it for them, it never do the mistakes. But the human intervention factors are very much there. It may create an issue. It may create an
Yeah,
issue, but I can assure you, sir, 99% of the cases they are doing it very systematically because
very good.
they want business. They want
Yeah, yeah. Great,
business.
great.
That's
Correct.
it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. If there are no more questions, so if you shall we conclude because we have to continue for the another session.
Yeah,
Professor
yeah.
Kumar Suresh sir is there for the another session.
Oh, okay, okay. Sir, already joined?
Yes, sir. Yes. Hello, Professor Kumar Suresh sir.
I'm
Sir,
on the
namaskar.
screen. Namaskar, namaskar. So good to see you
Yes, sir.
already
Same
there. So you have already set tone and tenor of the entire session. Good.
Thank
So
you, sir.
shall we
Thank you.
conclude, sir? Srinivas sir.
Yeah, I can leave. Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you very much.
so please wait for 1 minute. On behalf of
Yeah.
Malvi Mission Teacher Training Center, Sant Garge Babam Rauti University, and Professor Ram Maggi Institute of Technology and Research, I extend my sincere thanks to Professor Srinivas sir for being with us, enlighten us, and given us the roadmap to utilize this platform, various platform for our research purpose, for our teaching, as well as the building of this nation and ultimately achieving the objectives of our national education policy. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And with the kind consent of Professor Srinivas sir, I would like to declare that the first session will be over and now we will continue for the next session. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you, Dr. Atikji, for giving me the opportunity. Thanks to the wonderful participants. And namaskar.
Namaskar, sir. Namaskar.
Okay, sir, I am leaving, sir. Kumar, sir.
Namaskar.
Thank you.
Yes. Hello, Professor Kumar sir, Suresh sir. Shall we start, sir, if you could permit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so.
So, good afternoon, one and all. Once again, as I have told already, today we have invited both of the eminent speakers from the NEPA, and one of the session we have completed with very dynamic personality, and we are going for the next session with a very dynamic and expert personality, Professor Kumar Suresh sir. Sir, warm welcome in behalf of the Malvi Mission Teacher Training Center, Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University, and the Professor Ram Maggi Institute of Technology and Research, an autonomous institute situated in the Amravati. Earlier, it is affiliated to the Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University. Now it is became an autonomous institution. So I welcome you all, sir, to this virtual platform. Friends, Professor Kumar Suresh sir is at present serving as a director at planning and the development and as a professor at the Department of Educational Administration at the National Institute of Educational Planning and Administration, a deemed to be university under the Ministry of Education situated at the New Delhi. Sir is also served as an honorary professor at the Central University of Kerala. Spanning over the 30 years of research as well as the teaching and the academic career, Sir has associated with the various national, international research collaboration and the capacity development program, including UNESCO AAD at Hiroshima University, Forum of Federation, Canada, Berghoff Foundation, Germany, National Research Council of Thailand. As a part of academic collaboration and endeavor, he has visited many countries which includes Switzerland, Canada, USA, Serbia, Thailand, Sri Lanka, Nepal, etc. He has been leading multi-state large research project and the policy-oriented research. He also lead the major project of evaluation of 26 schemes of UGC conducted by a group of faculty member at the NEPA. He has also been a part of multi-country research of the UNESCO, currently also leading a multi-country institutional research group at the African Asian countries. He is also served as a director academic for conducting a series of capacity development program for the principal of Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha and the SOA colleges in the collaboration with the National Commission for the Indian System of Medicine. He has also conducted a series of programs in the aegis of the Ministry of Education, Government of India for implementing the national education policy in collaboration with the various government institutions, various government and autonomous institutions of the HEI. Friends, this is a brief introduction with regards to Professor Kumar Suresh sir. One of the most important thing is that he is previously associated with the Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University when the Ministry of Education has launched its program, that is ARPIT. You know that ARPIT, NRC National Resource Center, and the annual refresher program in the teaching. And sir was the one of the member of our academic council that has been nominated by the Ministry of Education, and sir has visited Amravati University. So sir, we are really grateful to you, and I extend my sincere thanks to you for being with us, and you have spared your valuable precious time for this session. Sir, I again extend my warm welcome to you and request you to start with your session. So please.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much for introducing me in such a detailed manner. At the end, you already mentioned that my association with this Amravati University some years back, and this is one of the regions or one of the regions to engage with this session. Of course, personally, I had visited before pandemic. I mean, 3, 4 times in Amravati as a member of the academic council, and I had good time to spend with faculty colleagues over there, and of course, close association with at that point of time Human Resource Development Center Amravati. So, in a sense, this is coming back home. So that is one point which I would like to place on record, and of course, we'll have some more collaborative program due to other engagements of the institution. I am heading the set of programs, but in coming months, definitely we'll have closer association, and some of the participants who are already here in online session, I'm sure that they would be also, some of them would be also joining in the
Definitely, sir.
program which
Definitely.
we,
Definitely,
we
sir.
propose.
Definitely.
Yeah. So definitely that is one of the important points which I wanted to mention in coming months itself. Uh, the theme which I have been requested to deliberate upon, uh, whether I'm audible.
So very clearly,
Yes,
sir. Very
yes,
clearly.
yes, very clear.
Okay, okay. So the theme which I have been asked to speak, that is institutional development plan. And this institutional development plan is one of the components of the theme, broader theme of Mother Mohan Malviya program, that is academic leadership, governance, and management. Uh, really, this is important. In fact, institutional development plan, it is not that institutions were not having any program for its development or excellence. But if we talk about institutional development plan, it has been by and large subdued in case of higher educational institution. I recall, since in one way or the other, I was also associated with RUSA scheme in terms of evaluation of their scheme. So at that point of time, I raised this issue with some of the institutions. Have you developed any institutional development plan? So a response was a standard response that yes, institutional development program is one of the requirements and requisite for getting funds under RUSA. And therefore, we had already developed institutional development plan and submitted for as a way of compliance. That was there. Then my next question to them was that what were the components? Are you able to recall this? And this is also about Maharashtra. In case of Maharashtra, some of the institutions clearly mentioned, and they were very clear about the vision, mission of the institution, as well as a roadmap for development. But in majority of the cases, in many other states also, they were not clear. So it means a group of people had just developed institutional development plan, IDP, for the institution as a measure of compliance, but the entire IDP was missing. So far ownership of this document is concerned. So that is one. So it is now important to view this whole idea of institutional development plan clearly indicated or clearly mentioned and recommended in the National Education Policy 2020. One of the assumptions one can infer that if institutional development plan is there, that can lead to better governance of institution, a strengthened governance of institution. That is one of the inferences which one can infer. Second is also it can lead to institutional excellence because you have already defined, say, roadmap for institutional growth. You have already defined roadmap for how to ensure excellence of the institution. So these two important drivers have been underlying factor for this entire idea of institutional development plan. Why the teachers of the colleges or universities are supposed to know about institutional development plan and why they are supposed to be part of the entire preparation of institutional development plan. In fact, this is a point which is really important for all of us to understand. Institutional development plan, as I say, that may be considered as an important tool for improving governance. If we talk about governance of a university or governance of college, can we imagine the whole idea of governance merely in terms of academic administrators? Certainly not. It is not just institutional heads or administrative heads. They will ensure institutional excellence or strengthen institutional governance. They may be important actors in the entire context of governance of higher education. But the whole idea cannot terminate only to the institutional leaders or academic leaders. Academic leaders, generally, we understand in terms of those who are heading the departments, who are heading the schools, or in one way or the other, they are part of administration, academic administration. But now the whole idea of academic leadership is changing. Since while being introduced, this was also mentioned. Now, the Ministry of Education, particularly, it has already launched a program on nurturing future leadership. NEPA is coordinating the entire the framework of nurturing future leadership directly. I mean, steered by the Ministry of Education. NEPA is just a coordinating institution, and I'm again leading that program. So during initial discussion, this point came in that who should be the target group of this whole academic leadership. The idea emerged that yes, institutional leaders or academic administrators like deans or directors, etc., they are important component of the university life. But now this is the time when we should think in terms of each and every teacher. And each and every teacher, even if it is entry-level teacher, he is really an important actor in the entire context of higher education. And if it's important in the context of higher education, definitely the capacity of and that they may be considered as academic leaders. And this is in this context that capacity of each and every academic leaders, or in other words, each and every teacher has to be developed. They are integral part of the university system. And therefore, if we are now deliberating upon the whole idea of institutional development plan, if you have gone through the guidelines of the University Grants Commission on the institutional development plan, it clearly mentions that the entire institutional development plan should be based on consultative process. And in this consultative process, each and every teacher, each and every persons involved in academic administration, students, community at large, they should be part of this process of institutional development plan. If the whole idea of institutional development plan is being seen from this perspective, I'm tempted to go back to the whole idea of governance of higher education. Governance of higher education is not just about certain structures, which we keep on talking about, be it University Grants Commission, AICT, or number of councils which regulate the quality of different branches of knowledge. They are important actors. But governance of higher education has its own specificity, which needs to be captured, which needs to be retrieved. The whole idea of governance of higher education, I would be linking this whole idea of governance to institutional development plan, and therefore I'm delving into the whole idea of governance of higher education. In fact, governance of higher education, all of us are aware that this is broadly located or broadly could be seen that it is rooted in the idea of university. And our university system, which especially three universities established in year 1857, Calcutta, Madras, and Bombay, three universities. These three universities were based on London model of university. Or in other words, quite often it is referred as Oxbridge model of university governance. What was special about Oxbridge model of university governance? And this whole idea of Oxbridge model of university governance needs to be revisited. How far we can strengthen our own governance of institution that can help us. And herein, the whole idea of institutional development plan can be located. So three, four components of my deliberation. Of course, I'll be coming to how to the whole idea, practical idea, how to go about institutional development plan, what would be the step, what are the defining aspects, that I'll be coming to. But it is equally important to delve into the whole idea of governance and linking it to the institutional development plan and relevance and role of each and every teacher. Because otherwise, you may say that why we should talk about institutional development plan. Our vice chancellor, our pro vice chancellor, registrar of the university, or at most deans of the faculty, they should think about institutional development plan. We are just teachers. We will be going to the classroom. We will be taking the classes sincerely, and that is our role. That is the end of this. In the current context of the entire higher education system, the role and responsibilities of two teachers cannot be just confined to the whole idea of classroom teaching. That is also in one way or the other, therefore each and every teacher is now being referred as academic leaders. An academic leader, if you are leading a course, if you are leading even a module, if you are leading a program, if you are leading some sort of examination process, you are definitely academic leaders and you are part of the entire academic administration. And therefore, the idea of this whole institutional development plan has to be evolved in such a way wherein each of us is a part and parcel of the process of institutional development plan. Why this idea I'm talking about, and why I revisited to the idea of Oxbridge model of university governance. As I say that if we are talking about governance of higher education, it cannot be talked in isolation. The whole idea of governance of higher education is in one way or the other rooted in the idea of university. I do not want to traverse through the journey of idea of university per se, because that will be taking more time, and this is not the central focus of my deliberation today. But at the same time, it is important to recall that the idea of university is as such, wherein governance of higher education has been its own specificity, its own context. What is that context? Of course, that is not, say, similar and homogeneous, but some of the core concerns have been the common across the models. Whenever we talk about models of governance of university, generally we talk about Humboldtian idea and Humboldtian model of university governance, on the basis of which Berlin University was established in 1810. Similarly, US model of university governance, or European continental model of university governance, or Oxbridge model, specifically the model of university governance. Each of these models has its own, say, specific, say, characteristics. But I'm primarily focusing on Oxbridge model of university governance. The whole idea of Oxbridge model of university governance was based on the idea of autonomy to the institution, idea of autonomy to the teachers. So idea of autonomy is one important defining aspect of the Oxbridge model of university governance. Second important defining aspect was collegiality as a form of governance. So collegiality as a form of governance means each and every stakeholders in the university system, each and every teachers, each and every student is a part and parcel of this collegiality model of university governance. It means shared form of governance, consensus-based decision making. It is not just say pyramidal model of say governance, wherein all the decisions are being taken at the top, and that is being communicated to different levels of say university governance. It was not the case. It was each and every part of the university governance. Everyone has its own role, and the decision making is based on consensus, and therefore both in terms of the structure of governance and also process of decision making. The two important reference points of governance based on the idea of collegiality, not in the form of control and command. Okay, so that has been really, really defining aspect of university governance in the case of Oxbridge model. And if you are talking about a structure of governance, you can revisit your own university system, because our university is really, in one way or the other, have deep imprint of the Oxbridge model of university governance. So even in the structure of governance, you find various levels, wherein executive council or board of management, academic council, board of studies, a school level committee, departmental level committees, all these structures are there. And each of these structures, they may not be considered as, say, subordinate. Each of these structures is important in its own respect. That is one of the very important point which one cannot undermine. It means this is a part of the idea of collegiality in terms of the structure. Similarly, in terms of decision making within the university system, generally in the university system, if there are two levels of, say, academic, say, faculty, be it professor or entry-level assistant professor, there is no notion of subordinate. The idea, it is referred as colleague, means, of course, levels are different, but we are a part of the whole idea of collegiality. And if the collegiality in terms of a structure and process of decision making has been one of the important defining aspects of the university governance, it has led to a culture of collegiality between the universities. it is not to deny that over a period of time, for variety of factors, this whole idea of collegiality has also been impacted. And therefore, various manifestations have been also there in terms of, say governance of higher educational institutions. Taking a cue from Oxbridge model of university governance, on the basis of which our universities have been pattern governance of our universities have been patterned, and also taking cue from the idea of collegiality, the institutional development plan needs to be, say, a starting point to reinforce the idea of collegiality and shared form of governance. And therefore, institutional development plan should not be just from above, that a group of people or consultant will develop the institutional development plan for your own institution, and some kind of roadmap has been indicated in the, and each of you has to work accordingly. That may not be a good model of institutional development plan. It may adversely impact the whole idea of ownership, the whole idea of collegiality. And therefore, institutional development plan should be integral part of the whole idea of governance of a university or college. Because if you are part and parcel of developing this institutional development plan, definitely it will have a kind of ownership on this IDP. And therefore, to begin with, we should start with this view that institutional development plan has to be developed through a consultative process wherein students, non-teaching faculty, each levels of faculty members, they are part and parcel of the institutional development plan. Needless to add that this institutional development plan, why do we need? I mean, if we have to answer the question, why do we need to have institutional development plan? But before coming to the idea of why, what is institutional development plan? Institutional development plan is primarily a document which reflects the thinking of the institution, its area of strength, its area of weakness, it's a kind of entire picture of the institution, and also a kind of roadmap for the institutional growth. That is important. If it is so, why do we need to have institutional development plan? And why the NEP 2020 specifically talked about institutional development plan? And the new University Grants Commission has mandated that each and every institution must be having institutional development plan. And the UGC has already released detailed guidelines on institutional development plan. So now, why do we need to have institutional development plan? This is more than obvious that this can provide us opportunity for institution to revisit its own institution. Where does institution stand in the entire context of higher education? What are its strengths? What are its weaknesses? What are the opportunities? What are the challenges? What could be the strategic strategies for ensuring a strengthened governance as well as better, institutional excellence? It is equally important to mention that now it is not just about one institution or the other. It is now a question of our own own country, because now India is aspiring to be a global leader, and more emphasis is also now being paid on internationalization of higher education. The obvious, in this case, the drivers of this kind of thinking, this kind of aspiration is also linked to our rising power at the global level. And therefore, the India now aspires to be a global leader in coming decades or in coming years. if it is so, it cannot be possible just by strengthening few institutions. To begin with, it may happen. For example, in China, some of the institutions excelled. Some of the institutions were heavily funded. That some of the institutions were mentored to compete at the global level. And many Chinese university figure in the world ranking of university. There is no doubt about this. So one is, of course, that select or lead institutions will be the front runners. But each of the institutions has to play important role. The aggregated result of this would lead to better governance of higher education of the institution on the one hand, and aggregated impact could be emergence of a more stringent higher education system which can contribute towards global leadership of India. So that is more than obvious. So again, coming to this, the institutional development plan, if it has been proposed in the NEP 2020, definitely this needs to be seen as an important tool for strengthen governance and say institutional excellence. The second important point comes in how to go about the development of institutional plan, IDP. What are the important reference points? What are the important steps? So if you go by the University Grants Commission guidelines, it is already stated, and the University Grants Commission document on IDP has detailed out about the IDP, how it has to be prepared, who are to be stakeholders of the whole idea of institutional development plan, for which kind of enablers are to be taken into account when we are talking about IDP. That has already been mentioned. But it is equally important to remember here that two important reference points before you go into technical aspect of institutional development plan. It is very much important to pay attention to a reality, and that is about that you have to, take into account two important reference points. Earlier, the reference point in terms of our institution or higher education was not global. Now we are talking about global connect. So global trends in higher education is as such, which could be an important reference point for institutional development plan. And that can lead, that can also give leverage to the institution towards its future, thinking about its future. For example, rarely in the higher education discourse, the idea of skills and employability was referred to earlier. Similarly, just before this session, Professor Srinivas was talking about technology tools to be used in research or otherwise. So integration, digital integration in the entire process of governance and teaching learning. This was not at all a reference point earlier. This was out of question. Similarly, we had hardly any reference to international higher education. That was not there. Quality of higher education primarily seen in terms of peer review culture. It was to be seen in terms of internal quality. It was only, if we are talking about, say, quality assessment and accreditation, it was only the NAT established in year 1994 that the whole process of, say, assessment and accreditation as a separate exercise started. Otherwise, the basic role and responsibility of University Grants Commission was to ensure minimum standards in higher education. And the whole idea of quality and quality education was left to the institution itself or the actors in higher education itself. It was not to be externally monitored. It was an exercise of internal kind of thing. But globally, and this is not just about India, in many other countries, internal assessment of quality or monitoring of quality that has been seen in different forms and manifestation, but it was not essentially in form of a quantifiable parameters. It was not essentially in terms of a global context or international ranking. So these are the developments which have taken place during the last 15, 16, or say 20 years. If these developments are there, where do you locate yourself? Many of you may ask this question that some of us come from colleges. What is our relevance? Why should we think about international context? It may not be a good idea to reject this. Definitely, the trend would be a trend is as such which, in one way or the other, impacts all of us. The impact may be experienced in terms of different levels of time. Especially front runner institution may have, I mean, immediate impact, but each of us will have its own impact. And therefore, before thinking about institutional development plan, of course, the emerging trends in higher education should be one important, say, reference points for institutional development plan. The second important reference point for institutional development plan is National Education Policy 2020. The National Education Policy 2020 is having a number of recommendations and number of areas of desired interventions. I would just list out that is a kind of recalling some of the points of NEP 2020. First important point is about, say, multidisciplinarity in higher education institution, multidisciplinary and holistic learning. This is very important recommendation, and UGC has already come up with the guidelines. And all of us in our own respective institution, we are also trying to implement the idea of multidisciplinarity and holistic learning. If you are starting with the institutional idea or exercise of institutional development plan, definitely this aspect has to be taken into account. Be it NAC accreditation or NIRF ranking framework, in everywhere this idea will recur. It has recurring relevance, and therefore that should constitute one of the reference points for institutional development plan. How would you propose to implement the idea of multidisciplinarity and holistic learning in your own institutional context? That is one. Second important points with regard to number of things are there. So I'm not touching upon each and every aspect, but few points needs to be taken into account when you are starting this exercise of institutional development plan. Second important point is related to flexibility in teaching learning process. Each and every institution is supposed to provide flexible learning experience for each and every student in your own institution. In this regard, how this idea of flexible learning can be implemented at the institutional level. One is macro level context, but within that context, how do you propose to have, flexibility in terms of learning context of each and every student? All of us are aware that idea of academic bank of credit, idea of credit, national credit framework already in place. We have also the idea of multiple entry and exit. A larger framework has already been proposed. And since I have been closely associated with some of the institutions in terms of programs on NEP 2020, I also come across this reality that many institutions in Maharashtra, and Maharashtra state itself, it has its own framework of implementation of, say, NEP 2020. You have already a well-empowered committee for this. That is one part. But institutional level, how do you propose to incorporate the idea of flexibility in learning context of each and every student. How this idea of the courses, curriculum, programs could be thought of, which can be sustainable in coming years. That is the second important reference point that needs to be taken into account when we are talking about institutional development plan. The third important aspect is about the part is equity and diversity management. The national education policy has definitely highlighted this idea that equity and diversity management should be an integral part of institutional development plan. So, have you thought of any exclusive diversity management plan for your own institution? If not, it needs to be taken into account. That could be a separate session on this, but that idea of integral part of institutional development plan is equity and diversity management. The fourth important aspect is related to this whole idea of linking general education and higher education. I mean, general education and technical or vocational education. Now, there is no, say, separation between this. The National Credit Framework has developed a meta qualification framework. In this meta qualification framework, you have the higher education qualification framework, vocational education skills and vocational education framework, a school education framework, all have been brought together. And this idea is considered as comprehensive and therefore meta framework qualification framework in national. So therefore, how do you link general education and vocational education in your own institutional context? The idea of national credit framework is already in place. How do we incorporate some of the ideas in terms of macro credit framework, micro credit framework, and nano credit framework? That has to be also given due importance and due, view when you are going ahead with the idea of institutional development plan. Needless to add, the idea of skills and employability. Skills and employability is important reference point for each and every institution now. Unless you promote employability, which can lead to better graduation outcome for each and every student, perhaps you may not be able to do justice with your own institution. So therefore, this whole idea of institutional development plan should take into account what are your roadmap for ensuring better employability of a student and better graduation outcome. I'm talking about the NEP 2020. You may take a view that how it is getting linked with this whole institution. I'll come to this framework later, but these are the important points. So the next important theme, as you are aware, that National Education Policy 2020 has also talked about internationalization of higher education. Many of you may think about this, that what to do with internationalization of higher education. We are coming from colleges. We are universities in different locations. Some of the locations are not exactly linked to the whole process of internationalization. It is not the way to link to the whole idea of internationalization. And therefore, the national education policy, especially for the universities, it had mandated to open the Office of International Affairs for each and every university. Even in the colleges, the idea of internationalization of higher education cannot be dispensed with. It has to be taken into account. You may not be able to attract foreign student. I may take this view or inability of some of the institutions. You may not be able to promote mobility of teachers cross-border mobility of teachers, that I also accept. It is not necessarily that you can, but for the time being, I say that it may. Third is about mobility of the course, curriculum, or international collaboration. Course and curriculum mobility is also important reference point for joint degree, dual degree, and training program. But international cooperation in terms of collaboration, in terms of research, in terms of other academic networking, that is very much possible. Why not? The colleges and universities can enter into this exercise. It is not a difficult one. You have your own area of strength. You may not be able to offer admission to foreign students due to infrastructural limitations or many others, but it may be possible to have international collaboration. So in your own IDP, this idea of internationalization, I mean, it is not just about IDP, is not just about 1 year or 2 years. It may be having a roadmap for next 20 years. If you are not at this stage at the moment, there could be a possibility of going ahead with the idea of internationalization, and your institution could be a lead institution in next 20 years. Why to dispense with this idea? Definitely, this idea has to be incorporated in the entire institutional development plan. So these are, to repeat the same point, two reference points are important before you start take into account when you start the process of institutional development plan. One immediate reference point could be national education policy. Second important point could be in terms of emerging trends in higher education. What are the new demands in higher education? These have to be taken into account. If these ideas are articulated well discussed within your own institutional context, and if it is incorporated in the form of a document that can help the institution to have a better roadmap for institutional growth and excellence. That is one. What are the steps? How do we go ahead with the idea of institutional development plan? I assume that most of you have been a part of this RUSA funding. And if you have already developed institutional development plan for your own institution, again, it is important to revisit. Even if you have your own institutional development plan, it is important to revisit the whole idea of IDP afresh. Why I'm talking about this whole idea of IDP from a fresh perspective? Because it is important for all of us to ensure that IDP is in place. So if we come to the steps, two, three, parts of the IDP could be there. First important is about vision and mission, a strategic goal and roadmap. These would be three important components of institutional development plan. So first of all, each of the institutions is supposed to revisit the vision and mission of the institution. I may be wrong, but majority of the teachers are not sure about the vision and mission of their respective institution. Because when institution is established, at that point of time, vision and mission of the institution is defined. And if the proposal of setting up a college or proposal of setting up a university is coming up, so those who are leading the entire process, they go by this whole idea of vision and mission, and that is projected or that is included in the university. But by and large, it appears to be ornamental. It appears to be ceremonial. This appears to be decorative exercise rather than substantive idea to be taken by each and every actor of the institution seriously. That is the general. This is also a task for all of us. You just ask your own colleagues, you ask your own teachers. If you are leading the institution, you ask your teacher, what is the vision and mission of our institution? You may ask, many of them may be able to recall that this is the vision and mission. Then the second question could be that how this vision and mission is getting translated in our own university, its academic program or institutional functioning or our roadmap. That could be the second question. I'm sure that many of us are not very much clear about our vision and mission. And therefore, institutional development plan, if it is being developed in a process of collegiality, and if it is being developed through a consultative process, first of all, the vision and mission of the institution needs to be revisited. Since all the institutions, I suppose that all the institutions are NAC accredited, the participating institutions, if they are NAC accredited, NAC requirement is definitely there that vision and mission of university should be or institution should be in place. That is obvious. But the idea here is that now this whole vision and mission of university needs to be revisited. If needed, the vision of mission of university needs to be redefined, modified, expanded, taking into view the major recommendations of NEP 2020. Because NEP 2020 is envisioning transformative reforms in higher education institution in general and at the institutional level. If it is so, some of the ideas which are already articulated in the NEP 2020, those also need to be reflected in one way or the other in the vision and mission of the university. So first exercise is starting with defining or revisiting the vision and mission of this your own institute. The second important task or a step towards institutional development plan is SWOT analysis, a strength, weakness, opportunities, and challenges. So what I suggest, if it would have been in a matter of face-to-face way, that this exercise would have worked in a better way. But still, I suggest that you take a piece of paper, a page. You must have two columns. First column about this SWOT analysis, and the second column about strategies for intervention. So just start with the whole idea of SWOT analysis with a strength. Just list out the strength of your own institution. You need not to be very major in terms of listing out the strength of your own institution. So list out areas of strength of your institution, 1, 2, 3, 4. For example, I have also come across a kind of reality that institution is located in a backward area. Or education, institution is located in remote areas, but some of the institutions have large number of students. I came across a college which were already having more than 10,000 students studying in the college. This will be considered as really, really very important area of strength in terms of student enrollment. So list out the areas of strength in terms of infrastructure, in terms of financial sustainability, in terms of your human resource, in terms of the availability of the student, and so forth. So list out the strength of your own institution. You come to the second call, a strategy. It is not just important to mention about a strength. What are your strategies to take advantage of your areas of strength? So second column would be in terms of strategies to leverage the points of strength of your own institution. This can happen in the framework of, say, consultation. Of course, there could be different committees. You may constitute different committees to work on this, but both a strength and a strategies for leveraging the areas of the strength in this case. The second point could be weakness. What are the areas of weakness? Weakness need not be taken very negatively. There could be, of course, it may be in terms of rotation of the institution, in terms of financial sustainability, in terms of number of students, in terms of lack of faculty, a lack of the support staff, and many more. So you can list out this. If these weaknesses are there, what are your strategy? You cannot just leave the status of weakness as it is. You have to have some kind of intervention. If interventions are required, what could be the point of intervention? What could be the way of addressing the areas of weakness? That is the second point. Third is about opportunities. You again list out the areas of opportunities. Opportunities available for your own institution. That could be yet another very, very important component of the SWOT analysis. Then opportunities, how are you proposing to take advantage of opportunities which are available before your own institution? The last point of SWOT analysis is challenges. What are the apparent challenges which you witness, you experience in your own institutional context? And then second column, that what are your strategies to translate those challenges into opportunity? So challenges could be, of course, a different course framework or variety of challenges could be there. What are your strategy to translate those challenges into opportunities? And this is a kind of leadership which is required to be in place in each and every institution when you are developing the institutional development plan. And this leadership I'm talking about not only in terms of principals of colleges, not only in terms of vice chancellor of university. Each of us as a part of higher education institution, all of us have important role to play. So the first important task is, of course, defining or revisiting vision and mission of the university or institution. Second is SWOT analysis. So SWOT analysis you have already done. And when you are doing your SWOT analysis, definitely you have to have baseline data of your own institution. Baseline data I am referring to institutional profile, number of, availability of infrastructure, number of students, number of teachers, number of non-teaching faculty, annual budget, source of funding, all these things, graduation outcome, pass out percent, each and every aspect. The entire institutional profile should be in place. And this institutional profile may be considered as baseline data, and you are doing SWOT analysis based on this data or baseline data, analysis. So that is the second important step in terms of institutional development plan. Third important, you have already done the SWOT analysis and you have been able to know about your own institution. Where do you stay? Where do you stand? I'm also tempted to mention here that earlier it was not, many of the institutions were, really, say, reluctant to go for NAC accreditation. When the NAC the accreditation was made mandatory by the UGC, regulation 2012, all the institutions are subjected to NAC accreditation. So when they started subjecting themselves for NAC accreditation, they were supposed to develop institutional, self-study report. When doing the self-study report, many institutions could realize where do they stand. Even they that may be based on our own assumptions that we are best institution, we are premier institution, or we are weak institution, whatever case may be. But the SR, self-study report, SSR, provides us a kind of mirror. Where do we stand, whether in terms of publication, in terms of research, in terms of patent, in terms of citation, in terms of our infrastructure, in terms of our governance practices. On each of these aspects, you the crystal clear picture of your institution. In a similar way, the SWOT analysis provides you a kind of framework based on baseline data analysis. If it is already in place, in a sense, if institutions subjected themselves for NAC assessment and accreditation, this exercise also provided opportunity to the institution to think afresh and do some kind of interventions in those areas where they consider they are weak. And where they are strong, they could take proactively to improve it further. So that has been in a similar way. If you are developing, say, IDP, in this case, a SWOT analysis could be a guiding principle. If you have done this SWOT analysis, so you are now able to understand, because this is a mirror which is before you. And you have also done a parallel exercise of developing a strategy to address each of these areas of SWOT. So now the exercise is to develop a strategic goal. So what is the goal of your vision? What do you want to do in next 3 years or 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, or 20 years? Do you want to remain the same, or you want to improve further? If you are a autonomous college, for example, you may be thinking that in next 10 years or 15 years, you would like to be a university, full-fledged university. If you are aspiring to be a full-fledged university, definitely a roadmap has to be in place. And therefore, you have to define a strategic goal. Whether you would like to emerge as a research intensive institution, you would like to emerge as teaching intensive universities, or so and so forth. So a strategic goal has to be listed out based on your own SWOT analysis. If you had done this exercise of SWOT, a strategic goal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the a strategic goal and corresponding say requirement for translating the strategic goal as a working reality in your own institutional context. So what is needed in this regard? So next exercise starts with planning. So this process of planning will help to translate the strategic goal into working reality. And therefore, multiple reference points for each of the component of institutional planning. So first, planning can start with academic plan. What kind of courses, what kind of curriculum, what kind of programs you would like to organize, would be your strategy for professional development of teachers, etc. So academic planning should be in place. So in terms of course, curriculum, and multiple, reference points could be there. Here, I would like, since we do not have much time to deal with each on every aspect, the UGC guidelines on IDP has detailed out, and two important components. One, it is talking about, of course, at the top of this, it is written as 9 enablers. But generally, if you go by detail, 8 enablers have been talked about. And these enablers are as follows. First, governance enablers. Second is financial enablers. Third is academic enablers. Then research intellectual property right, and supportive enablers, human resource enablers, networking and collaboration. This is eight another enablers, physical enablers and digital enablers. So it has talked about eight enablers when you are developing IDP. And each of these enablers in the document itself has been elaborated. What would be the indicators of each of this? But I'll start with, and you can refer to this document, which I may be sharing. You can download from the UGC website, and if it is needed, I can just forward this to the HRDC for wider circulation. So first important part is academic planning. So academic planning has to be done. And when you are doing academic planning, two references, initial references apart, two important. SWOT analysis of your own institution in terms of your baseline data analysis, and then enablers which are already spelled out in the NEP 2020, this guidelines of IDP. So this is one. Second, human resource enablers in terms of teachers. So if you are proposing that in coming 3 years, you will have multidisciplinary courses. So if you are proposing to have multidisciplinary programs or multidisciplinary courses, definitely you have to take into account that who will be able to teach, who will be this may require teachers for this. So it will also require human resource planning in terms of teacher requirement and others. So if you are doing this human resource say planning, herein all the components of human resource needs to be taken, including professional development of each and every part of human resource. Human resource. Then third is financial enablers. So if what is the source of your funding? It may be trust, corporate group, or state funding, a state aided institution. So it is equally important now to ensure that funding has sustainability in terms of, if it is funding now, we have also witnessed, and some of the institutions, they always say that funding is a major concern. The kind of funding they were receiving some 20 years back or so, that kind of funding is not available to some of the higher educational institutions in some of the states. There could be variations, but this is a point that declining funding of higher educational institutions, that is also one of the important trends which is being reported by different institutions. If it is reality, what is your strategy for this? The institutional development plan has to take into consideration that what will be the model of financial sustainability, even if you are getting 100% funding from the government agencies or whatever funding agencies is there. It is time to think about some alternative sources of financing also, which may be referred as innovative mode of financing and so on. So financial planning and of course budgeting exercise, this is macro framework, which is a part of this. The next would be definitely, apart from this academic human resource and the financial planning, of course, it is about this physical planning in terms of infrastructure. What will be the infrastructure? What will be the requirements in next 10 years, next 15 years? And this strategic goal has to be in terms of time frame. Short term could be 3 years. Then medium term, it could be 7 to 8 years. Then long term, it could be 15 years, 20 years. So when you are doing this exercise of, say, a strategic goal, that strategic goal should incorporate a time frame, that what will be doing, what your institution proposed to do in the next 20 years, 15 years, 7 years, or 3 years. So that has to be also reflected in each of the component: academic planning, human resource planning, financial planning, or infrastructure planning in terms of requirement of classroom, digital library, or whatever is there. That should be worked out. The next important say exercise would be planning for this quality enhancement. So parallel exercise is already there in each of the institution. Since each of the institution is going for assessment and accreditation, so NAC is already there. NIRF is yet another actor in this case. So there should be also an important planning for quality enhancement. And if it is about quality enhancement, as of now, you have already, the framework will be changing in the new framework of NAC. But it is a good reference point that 7 indicators of NAC, for example, the indicator of course and curriculum, or teaching learning, or research innovation, governance leadership, best practices, infrastructure and learning support. So all these indicators, already indicators of quality. So quality enhancement planning should be also incorporated as an important component of the institutional development plan. The next is definitely about research and innovation. Research and innovation, and therefore UGC guidelines has separately dealt with this enablers of research, IPR, and this is an important. But the UGC guidelines is a general frame. But each of the institutions has to work on the whole idea of IDP, taking into consideration its own institutional context. You are not supposed to blindly imitate or implement the guidelines the way it has been indicated. It is a broader guidelines, and each and every institution has its own context. And this context should be taken into consideration when you are talking about your own institution. Then research, innovation, IPR, etc., important one. No institution can now emerge and plan to excel unless it is having focus on research. It is more important that even for general education, now under 4-year undergraduate courses, you have a stream of research. If colleges, I'm talking about colleges, if colleges are not prepared to deal with the whole idea of research streams for the student, definitely that will be a kind of failure on the part of the institution. And therefore, the whole idea of creating research culture in your own university, a research ecosystem in your own college, research support system in your own college, that has to be also worked out. And that should be an integral part of institutional development plan. Then the digital integration. Now, it is now inevitable. No institution can imagine its existence without integrating technology in teaching learning process or governance process. So that framework also needs to be taken into account and incorporated in the institutional development plan. So these are broader, framework in which the IDP has to be thought of. Going one step further, what is needed? I already referred that institutional development plan guidelines of the UGC, that this is the document. This is already available on the UGC website. You can download, and if needed, I can just forward this. So it has already talked about 8 enablers, and details have been also given. What does it mean? if I'm referring to quality or infrastructure or any of this, what will be the indicators of this? So on that, this particular document can help you to think about and in terms of indicators and incorporate in this 8 enablers, which are already detailed out in the UGC guidelines, that you can incorporate, and that if you are thorough in terms of the indicators of each of the component, and you are already clear about your own institution and its roadmap after SWOT analysis and defining the strategic goal. And if you have already entered into exercise of planning, that can help the institution to go through each of the components and indicators for that. And a combined effect could be in terms of well thought, well informed document of institutional development plan, which has been developed through a consultative process. Of course, for giving final say, there could be, of course, a committee constituted for this, for taking up each of the components, but each of the stakeholders of higher education institution, your own institution, should be involved in one way or the other. And that can help us to create a kind of ownership about the document, which you develop this, and well awareness. It is not just a kind of decorative exercise, and as a measure of compliance of UGC, that UGC has asked you to submit IDP, it go beyond. It provides you opportunity to think about your own institution and define roadmap of your institution for the future. So this is a broader, say idea of framework of IDP, which I wanted to share. If you have any question, if you have any clarification to seek, or any point to make, you are most welcome. Otherwise, I'll stop here. If any question, comments, clarification, if is there, please let me know. I may not be able to see the chat box, but if you have any question to ask or point of clarification, you are most welcome to do so. And maybe one of the, from organizers, you may initiate this process. Any question or clarification? I had already kept some 7-8 minutes for question answer or clarification. But if there is no any question or clarification, in that case, I may have to log out. Any of you? From HRDC? What to do now? If there is no question, then I'll log out. Okay, so there is no question, and therefore I am logging out. And thank you, everyone, and also organizers of this session. Thank you, everyone.